And welcome back to the what? Okay. Hey guys, it's San, and welcome back to the BulbaSquad. So, thank you guys for joining us today. Today, I am very fortunate to be able to have three other very knowledgeable guests on the channel today. So, I'm going to be passing it on to each one of them. They get to plug any of their content, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, whatever they've got. So, I'm going to pass it off now to Swammey.
Hey everybody, Swammey, channel Swammey, person, man, myth, legend, Swammey. Glad to be here. That's all I got. I'm sorry. Am I supposed to say something else?
Hey everyone, old school Pokemon here. I got into Pokemon back in 2009. Been doing this ever since. Actually, just recently went full time with eBay, but yeah, huge into reselling, huge into collecting. Got an eBay store, got a YouTube channel. If you're interested, definitely check me out. Would love to see you on my channel as well. And yeah, just really looking forward to talking Pokemon with BulbaSquad, Swammey, and Mason. Should be a great night. It's always fun to talk Pokemon. But yeah, can't wait to get started with this.
Hey guys, Mason here, Cardinal Gaming. How we doing? Appreciate Sam for putting this on. It's going to be a great time. So hopefully we get a lot of action from the chat. If you guys don't know me, I own LGS in Kentucky called Cardinal Gaming. Maybe heard of the channel. If you check me out on that, thank you. But yeah, just happy to talk to these guys.
Guys, so the way this whole round table is going to be working is each one of us is bringing a question to the fold. We're going to go around in 2 rounds. First round, just our general thoughts. Second round, if we have any form of opinion change, counterpoints to what anyone said, that'll be welcome. Once we finish up with 1 round of questions, we will then take a couple questions from the audience so that you guys don't feel left out and we're all having fun, chatting, being friends. And then we'll move on to the next person. So, for right now, we are going to start off with my question. And mine to you guys will be, do you guys think that the Sword and Shield block will appreciate in the next probably 5 years nicely, or do you believe that the price growth of Modern from 2020 will not repeat again over any reasonable time span? So I'm gonna essentially give my initial thoughts. This is mainly me wanting to know what you guys think. I'm thinking pretty much most of this Sword and Shield block is going to struggle to appreciate for quite a long time, just because Sword and Shield is the most printed block as of late, just because it's the newest, most population in the hobby, most supply, and so many people are holding it sealed right now because Pokemon sealed investing has become so popular. Perfect example, go look at our Poke Investing. That subreddit appeared last year, I believe. And everyone thinks every set has potential, and I've been seeing it in my comments as well. I think there is the possibility some of these sets will end up being really nice long-term holds, but you'll have to be very pick and choose, very careful, like cherry picking out of all these sets as opposed to just spreading across everything, because there will be quite a number of sets that I think are going to end up being dead money and have such high opportunity costs, it's just not going to be worth it in the long run. All right, so I'm going to pass it off now to Swammey.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm going to have to figure out this light here, but yeah, I don't think nothing. I don't think anything's going to happen like 2020 again, right? Where Evolutions went from $100 a booster box to $500 a booster box within 4 days. It was so crazy. It went boom, 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 and then it climbed again up to 1,000. I don't see that. That shows you how much demand was going after something in such a short period of time. I don't think Sword and Shield, and you never know. I mean, if demand stays hot, it might. I don't think a lot of sets in Sword and Shield are going to move for a long time. But when it does start to move, it'll be nice and easy. Like you'll be able to see it. Like, oh, okay, supply has finally kind of been sparsed out. Something that I've been mulling over with appreciation of modern boxes is how I'm not so sure. There's a lot of people that bought boxes that would rather, I think, open them than ever sell them again. So a lot of the supply that was maybe at a warehouse where, yeah, sure, they list stuff all the time. I'm not so sure people will be listing things. If you've got a if you make above $600 in a year and all of a sudden you got to report that, a lot of people, if they sell a Vivid Voltage box, let's say they sold it for $1,000, like are they going to go through all the work and say, well, I paid 100 or 200 in 2020 and it's reduced that from the cost? It's just like, I'm not so sure a lot of people are going to be sellers, which is a good thing for the supply, right? But yeah, I mean, we are nowhere near those boxes going anywhere but down in the short term. Next year to 2-3 years, they'll go nowhere but down because they're literally being printed right now, and printing is going to ramp up. I don't see them taking off anything like what any of the sets did from XY in 2020, but once the supply is kind of dried out, if demand is still there, yeah, they'll start to go up nice and easy, nice and slow. But it'll be a long time, and there's no rush to buy. In fact, the longer you wait, the better price you're going to get in the short term. You know, probably I'm thinking through summer of 2022. I mean, that'll be the best prices on all these boxes. But that's we can go to the next. Nick.
So I would agree with what everyone else has said so far. I don't see too much potential with the Sword and Shield era in the the 5 year range or whatever. Kind of like the short term investment, less than 5 years. And the biggest reason for that is because a lot of these sets are still being printed, and booster box pricing is just going further and further down. Best example is Vivid Voltage. When that came out back in November, December of 2020, boxes quickly jumped up to $250, somewhere around there. And now you can find booster boxes on eBay all day long for $120, $115, $120, somewhere around there. Distributors actually have Vivid Voltage booster boxes in stock for stores to purchase. So it's not like this product's going out of print and they're never going to print it again. I think all the Sword and Shield era sets can have a reprint in the future. I think that era of sets is probably going to be the worst offender for reprints going forward. Once Pokemon actually gets up and running with these new print facilities, which hopefully they'll get up and running soon. But yeah, I think Sword and Shield era is going to take a long time before we see any type of drastic growth. And the other thing I wanted to mention with like modern product in general, in terms of investing in modern product, right now we're in a time where this modern product is so fresh in our minds. Everyone knows every set from the Sword and the Shield era because we've all opened this product and we've all seen these cards. Come 5-10 years from now, what sets are we going to remember? Are we going to remember every single Sword and Shield era set, every single Sun and Moon set? Probably not. So if you are looking to invest in modern, focus on the sets that you actually truly enjoyed, that you had fun opening, and the sets that are going to be memorable to you 5-10 years from now, because those are the ones that are going to do the best in the long term, in my personal opinion. But if you're looking to get Sword and Shield era product, in terms of like an investment for the long term, I would definitely recommend being patient, holding off until we kind of get a better picture, better idea on what sets are going to receive reprints versus which sets might not receive these reprints. That would be my thoughts on that question there. And I'm all set whenever Mason wants to hop in.
I don't know. I kind of got a different kind of take to it. Obviously, long term is a big question mark. We don't know what's going to come down the pipe here before, But I do know that like other people did say, Viv Voltage has been reprinted. It is back in, back in stores and back on the shelves out there. So that's good to know and good to see. But obviously, Viv Voltage is going to be a long term set that is very much desired in the future. Obviously, Rainbow Chunky Pikachu is going to be a good card to collect, and it's going to be a chase card that a lot of people are hunting after for a long time. So I don't think that's going to go anywhere. I think Vivid Voltage is probably the best out of any of the Sword and Shield stuff, other than the most modern sets. So definitely, even if they printed that into the ground, I think long term that's still a better set than like Rumble Clash or even base set Sword and Shield. And then, of course, you got the amazing rares in Vivid Voltage as well. That definitely helps having the little subset in that. Any standard set that has, like a subset of collectible stuff, like Cosmic Eclipse, and then like Vivid Voltage did, all that good stuff is really good long term because it adds more chase cards to it and adds more things to hunt after. So, there's some sets that are better than others, so that's really good to see. But you think of like if you go look at the base set is and always is printed pretty heavily. It is supposed to be the base set where you kind of build the pillar of what the either playable set is, and they start the new mechanics like the V cards came in the base set. So obviously they printed that really, really heavy. Rumble Clash was not a great set, not very collectible. Did have some good playable stuff in it, but Darkness Ablaze came along. And then you had the big VMAX Charizard. Obviously, with the V mechanic, we knew Charizard was going to come along eventually. And then we got two more after that. So that kind of blew that Darkness Ablaze, kind of took the wind out of that sail a little bit. But Darkness Ablaze, even here recently, it needs a reprint. And people are making noise about reprints, but I haven't seen any. Don't have any numbers from any distributors about a reprint. But, that kind of stuff is any Charizard is a good thing in the set, so that kind of lifts that up a little bit. But if I had to pick one, Vivid Voltage is definitely the set that I think is going to do the best. Probably Chilling Reign will do very well as well. And then, Evolving Skies is right around the corner, and I think of anything in this block so far that we've seen, obviously anything with a bunch of Eevees in it is going to do very well. Rayquaza is going to do very well. Add all that together in one box. Obviously, you make a kind of like a set from heaven, basically, that people are going to want to open for a very long time. So, I think Evolving Skies is definitely the best set that we know of out of this block. And then I think Vivid Voltage, like I said, if you look 5 years down the road, people will still be wanting to open that stuff and want that stuff in that set. So, I don't think it's any of these sets, one or the other, is going to be like super amazing, but definitely there's some better than others. And I'll pass on to I guess the next question, huh?
All right, guys. So now that we're done with the first round of questions, we're going to go around now for if anyone has any counterpoints or responses. So I don't have any at the moment. So I'll pass.
I got one. So Mason, listening to him, I liked thinking about how crazy Sword and Shield is pretty much in general. I mean, Sword and Shield is pretty nuts all the way around. So you got Chunkachu, you got Rainbow Chunkachu, Darkness Ablaze, Vivid Voltage was so crazy, amazing rares. Evolving
set.
Skies is gonna knock everybody's socks off. Everyone's gonna love Evolving Skies. I heard that we aren't getting the alternate arts. All of
Doesn't
the
matter.
alternate arts. I don't think we're
It
missing.
doesn't matter.
It doesn't
It's
matter.
gonna be great anyways. It doesn't matter.
It is. I mean, celebrations. For me, I am going to be buying some of these sets just for myself. You know, I always bought a couple boxes and I would keep some sealed. And Darkness Ablaze was the first time I ever had any Pokemon product canceled on me. Pre-order.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but I'm waiting. Like I am Pokegal patient, super patient. And I think Sword and Shield is pretty fantastic all around. Every set has been pretty awesome. Shining Fates. Come on. Shining
I
Lapras.
would
That's it.
agree with you on that one. I
What?
think the only good part about Sword and Shield era has been Vivid Voltage and Chilling Reign. Aside from that, so far Sword and Shield has been pretty lackluster for me anyway.
Oof.
Man, such a harsh critic.
Because you have Rebel Clash and Battle
Trash.
within Sword and Shield.
Battle Styles
yeah.
ain't bad.
Oh,
The
Battle
Urshifus
Styles.
are cool.
The only good thing about Battle Styles was the alt art Tyranitar.
Yeah,
What about the Urshifus, the VMAXs? I think those are awesome.
I
They're a
was a
little
huge
bit
fan of that.
Digimon-y. But
They
what
are,
about
man.
what about Shiny Lapras?
Shiny said that. I'll give you that one too.
Come
I'll give you that
on.
one.
Come on.
Come on.
But no,
Shiny Ditto. I mean, the people are gonna want those cards in the future. I don't know why you wouldn't.
I think so. So from what we've seen so far, the Sun and Moon era has been so much better.
Well, Sun and Moon was
the end of
amazing.
the Sun and Moon was just like chef's kiss.
But we could see some good sets coming out with Evolving Skies. That one looks amazing, and then the 25th anniversary set. So maybe the tides will turn with the Sword and Shield era.
I didn't like Sun and Moon.
You didn't like Sun and
Oh,
Moon?
you didn't like it? Oh,
What?
man.
Weird. Tag teams?
Brought on
Even
the rainbows, which I think are not a good way to do chase cards in general. And the full arts just had the plain solid backgrounds instead of like nice vivid action shots like they had in previous sets. No, they washed out all these cards. The only good thing was that they had dragon typing and they had fairy typing, which I miss. But no, I think Sword and Shield is definitely an improvement from Sun and Moon. I think the cards look as great as they've ever looked. I think the art is as good as it's ever been. I love the modern look of the cards. I love gold cards and those kind of chase things with being for players and stuff, where with the old energies and the gold item cards, and I could do without the rainbow supporters that they added. I think those suck. But other than that, I think improvements all around for at least the rarities and how the rarities look in Sword and Shield products. I do like the look of the cards.
Right now,
The Japanese rainbow rare supporters are fire. But go ahead, Bulba.
I was going to say my main complaint about the Sword and Shield block so far has been that the vaults, like the full arts, secret rare vaults, have been so large. They lose their identity. I can see the theme going on, but it just feels like just a mishmash. And as for what I was trying to say earlier about battle styles, I kind of agree. It is kind of almost like Crimson Invasion level. If they weren't alternate arts, it would pretty much be like that. No one didn't like the majority of those cards. But alternate arts, man, that is modern saving grace right now. Otherwise, a lot of these sets would 100% be dud sets.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Y'all are I'm the hater. I'm the modern hater. I'm supposed to be the guy that's like, you guys are hating. Look at this. So let's just walk through. So Sword and Shield base, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Rebel Trash, sure, I'll give you it. Darkness Ablaze is good.
Rebel. Let's go back. Rebel Clash. It brought about Toxtricity.
You liked Rebel Clash?
And Eternatus.
I liked Rebel
Two
Clash.
very good
Toxtricity is my favorite Pokemon out of
Okay.
Sword and Shield.
So it's not terrible.
Darkness Ablaze, awesome set. Champion's
I'll give
Path
you Darkness
is
Ablaze, yeah.
Other than
terrible.
Charizard, what's in Darkness Ablaze?
Nothing.
I like Darkness Ablaze.
Oh, Darkness Blaze. I thought we were saying Champion's Path.
Yeah, Champion's Path is the one that was. It was Charizard or
A
bust.
better set than Darkness Ablaze is.
Oh, really? I
What else
like
is in
Darkness
Darkness
Ablaze a
Ablaze?
lot
Really?
better.
What else is in Darkness Ablaze other than the Charizard?
I just thought Champion's Path. Because I thought, I guess it was the hype revolving around Champion's Path that led me to get disappointed. Because that set was hyped up so much, and then when it was
Butterfree
actually
VMAX.
released, there was nothing outside of the Charizard.
Yeah. So Champion's Path. Yeah, but that was Dragon's Majesty 2.0. Except we had Charizards that were the first Charizard trophy card. So we actually we're not going to have like Charizard trophy cards out in the world that we can't get our hands on. But, all right, so Darkness Ablaze, you got Butterfree VMAX. That's it. Are you kidding? Like, Houndoom V, Charizard VMAX.
Houndoom's sweet.
Let's see what else we got. Centiskorch, hit or miss. I personally really like Centiskorch. Mew V. This Mew V is really cute.
I guess.
Man, going in on Darkness Ablaze.
I don't think
cuts.
it's... Oh, okay. So Scizor V, alt art is crazy. Vikavolt, yeah, I'll give you that. That sucks.
What? We're already in the muck of... there's not even a muck in the set. How about that?
Houndoom V? That's one of the best Houndoom cards of all time. So, all right, so let's keep going through the sets. I don't think Darkness Ablaze is trash, okay? Vivid Voltage, amazing. Amazing rares.
That's
great
the
hits.
best Sword and Shield so far.
Shining Fates, don't sleep on Shining Fates. Battle Styles, I personally really liked it. I only opened up Japanese boxes, but I had a good time.
What else did you like about Battle Styles? What in particular?
So I pulled Urshifu's.
Yeah, there's 12 of them.
That was
so, yeah,
sick.
that's pretty easy to do.
I got the super duper Urshifu except for the rainbow rare. Let's see. I gotta look this stuff up because I'm only familiar with what's in the Japanese sets. But how bad could it be? I had a great time with Battle Styles.
How bad can it be?
Okay,
I
Victini.
got 250 ETBs sitting on the floor of my warehouse right now. That's how bad
It doesn't
it is.
sell. Houndoom again. They got the Houndoom in here. Gold shiny Houndoom. Bruno. That's an awesome. Wow. Is this a Pokemon chat?
You came at me and said, "Oh, Battle Styles is great."
Mimikyu V, Empoleon V, like that alt art Empoleon V is dope. Come
the other
on.
Empoleon arts suck.
All right, so now we're going to grab a couple questions from the audience because I know we could definitely go at this for a while. It's all right. No, I'm trying to let us all have some fun, and I want to get the audience involved because I've seen they were getting in on this in the comments. All right, so the first question is, do you guys think Japanese cards are being hyped up, or is this interest organic? I think
It
it's
is
both.
weird. It's super weird how many people are talking about Japanese.
Yeah, Japanese always used to be just seen as like the preview set for the English set. It's kind of weird that now it seems like every release for Japanese stuff, it's totally desirable. For the first time ever, I've ordered Japanese product and sold it in store with Eevee Heroes. So, yeah, I think it's kind of crazy how that's just taken off, and people really are appreciating the differences between the English and the Japanese. Both the sets makeup and just the card quality, just the different kind of things of if you think about original cards, the Japanese sets is where it's at.
I think it's a mixture. I think there are some people who are truly into Japanese for the love of the artwork, because the Japanese artwork on some of these cards is unbelievable. They're doing so much better than English on some of these cards, especially with Eevee Heroes. That was such a fun set to open. But I do also think that there are a lot of people who are getting into Japanese strictly for the whole resale aspect and to make money off of Pokemon. I think a big part of that has to do with some of the bigger names in the hobby, SM Pratt, kind of hyping Japanese, and more people finding out that you can purchase these Japanese cards directly from Japan, get them shipped to the U.S., grade them, and then resell them for a pretty decent profit. So hopefully, I hope that doesn't keep going, because I don't like that whole aspect of the hobby. But I do think, unfortunately, there are a decent amount of people who are into Japanese just for that reason.
Yeah, the race to grading is definitely an interesting thing. Just because it's new and pretty and shiny, that people will think they can throw it out there and people are going to pay some crazy price for it just because it's the only printing of that card and it's before the English set. So obviously it's super stonky and hype, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So the next question comes from Magnificent Gaming. Do you think the chilling rain compensation bird blisters will increase? I believe they're a very limited item, just modern at the. I believe they're a very limited item, just modern at the moment. Obviously, you guys know what they're talking about? The compensation blisters.
Yes, they're all over Facebook. I'm not a big fan of those. For $50,
Yeah, I gotta agree.
You're getting the 3 birds and 2 booster packs.
Yeah.
I don't see the appeal of those.
It would have been an awesome product to have that was not compensation.
Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Or if they weren't damaged, if you guys saw that, like half of them came in dented.
Yeah, well.
I do like the idea of Pokemon Center ETBs. I'm a big fan of that.
Oh, do you?
There's not too much of a difference there, or at least for Chilling Rain, there wasn't hardly any difference. But for Evolving Skies, we're starting to see some different artwork on the actual ETB itself, which I'm a big fan of because I like collecting the ETBs. I think they're a cooler display piece than booster boxes, so I like that whole aspect.
Tag team. So Chewy and Annie, Tag Team All Stars has a lot of Japanese exclusive cards. But back to these birds, could you explain? They're not a exclusive artwork, right? It's just they gave you 3 bird cards that are in the set in a blister.
Set cards. They're not star promos or anything. They're just the set cards, which I don't know how they got them. I guess maybe they did a unique print run of them. I don't know. I don't know how that happened. But yeah.
I can't really hear Bulba. I see him talking, but
he's muted.
Okay, so
they came out because the Chilling Rain ETBs from the Pokemon Center were supposed to have 10 booster packs, but they got printed with only 8. So to compensate people, the Pokemon Center mailed these people an extra 2 Chilling Rain booster packs and the legendary birds.
So then that's no big deal. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But you were saying how you can buy a lot of Japanese singles, and I've ran the numbers on this. Almost did it with some old Eevee V cards, but you could buy these cards for $4 a pop. $5 shipped if you bought in bulk. Grade them, tag $15 onto it, and sell it for $30 to $50. And you could do that, and you could do it in bulk, and that is a part of the hobby that I've looked into, but it's like I've got my own thing going on, so I haven't done it. But I'm not a huge believer in Japanese set boxes. I think that's a little risky, but if you're talking about like the Evolutions box, where it comes with the Espeon promo. It's a beautiful box. I love those boxes. Nessa box that came out last year, that's my favorite. That's my favorite product that came out last year, period. I think those will do well. And those had done well, like going up in value before 2020. Stuff like that had actually gone up in value before 2020. So something I kind of go back to is that limited collector's box in 2016 came out the same year as Evolutions, but in January of 2020 you could buy Evolutions for under $100, and that thing had already moved up. it was already at like $300. So you could see just by the scarcity of Japanese that it can be, the supply being so short can actually move these boxes up, but the demand has to be there. But typically for set cards, the demand is going to be on the English stuff, right? I think you saw all these people run to Japanese. Like I had, what did I have? Like 32 boxes of explosive impact with the Rainbow Rare Lugia. The English set of that had actually jumped up to like $400 or $500 a box. And so that set eventually started to catch up, but it was still at $50. I was buying mine at $45 a box, and when the English set had gotten to this point where you could buy literally 10 Japanese booster boxes, and you were practically guaranteeing yourself to hit every card in that set. Why would you pay $500 for this English box and get one rainbow rare probably that you're not going to want? You're only looking for the Lugia rainbow rare when you could buy 10 of these Japanese boxes and you could complete the set. It's way better to collect, and the value proposition was so skewed towards Japanese. But typically with set boxes, I don't think you're going to see set boxes of Japanese move unless the English side does. Like Cosmic Eclipse, it went up. Yeah, people love those cards. They're going to pay more than $45 a box for the Dream Mix Bout, I think it is. So, and Miracle Twin, and yeah. That's all I got.
So our next question, this will be the last one before we move on to the next one of our own questions. Where and what do you guys classify as vintage, semi-vintage, semi-modern, and modern? So I'll just roll with what I got first. I classify modern would be the entire Sword and Shield block, or more modern would be everything that's in rotation. That's ultra modern in my eyes. Past that, I'd say pretty much all the Sun and Moon block, and I would almost venture to say Evolution still, kind of, because it was still in stores up until last year. I'd call modern. Past that, I'd call pseudo vintage, and at the moment we hit WotC and back, that would solve vintage in my eyes.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I would say WotC vintage, EX semi-vintage, and then black and white to XY semi-modern, and then modern. I would do Sword and Shield as well.
If you all are done,
Oh yeah, I think that's pretty straightforward lines to draw. Vintage is definitely, I would say, all the way up to probably through the Neo sets, probably, and then past that, up until the end of when Wizard of the Coast printed would be semi-vintage to me. And then yeah, I would say probably like black and white is like semi-modern. Expanded is a play format that uses black and white on, so I still consider black and white to be kind of modern-ish. Of course, it's getting up there and older. What, 3 generations old now? Jeez.
Yeah, it's getting there.
So yeah, it's definitely maybe time for them to move Expanded maybe a little bit, but we'll see if they do. I don't know. At least X and Y would be semi-modern, I would think.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
And you, Swami?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think of it as modern goes back to XY.
Okay.
Vintage is WotC, and mid vintage is everything in between.
Nice, simple.
Keep it simple,
Not in sets.
All right, so we're about to go to your question, but I just like this one. Would it be cheaper to fly to Japan to buy the 25th anniversary booster box than to buy it online at this point? Maybe for that gold Pikachu box.
It's so weird to hear Japanese touted so much. It's weird.
Yeah,
It's
right?
weird. I think the 3 videos I had in the background, the last 3 Pokemon videos, they were all talking modern, all different people, modern Japanese. Yeah, it was kind of goofy. It's definitely different.
All right, then. So, Swami, what is
Where's the
going to be
mic
your
noise at?
question? Mic notes?
Yeah.
Strange. But yeah, Swami, we're moving on to your question now. What have you got for us today?
I've been curious. I've had this nagging idea that I don't see Pokemon going anywhere but up. I think, you know, a lot of people are gonna peter out over the next 6 months, you know, just go back and do things. But I think for the most part, Pokemon is a go. Like all steam ahead, you know, green light, especially with these prices chilling out. Really everything that we're talking about today, especially with modern, everything relies on demand. And um, I guess I'm been curious. Is it a coincidence that the markets blew up over the last year and a half because everybody is in that age, you know, the 20 to 25 year collectibles rule, or are we gonna continue to add people? Like, are people who are 16 right now in 10 years when they're 26, are they going to be spending a lot in this hobby? Or is it just this all of us in a zeitgeist here? And I think we can carry a hobby. I mean, if you look at Magic the Gathering, they're older than us, right? So they're in their upper 30s, lower 40s, a lot of them. And a lot of them are carrying those high dollar prices. And it all kind of flows together, the high end and the low end of any hobby. But is it just a zeitgeist that we're in right now, or are we really going to add in 10 years for the 35th anniversary? Are the 15-year-olds right now going to be wanting Pokemon cards? And then on the flip side, to increase that, are the 5-year-olds? You know, I know a few kids that are loving Pokemon cards, and I could see them collecting, especially because there is money in the hobby. That has its own way of pulling people in. You know, you might be interested in Pokemon cards, but you might not be that as interested if there's no money there. But there is money there. I don't know. It's just something I've been mulling over. Do you guys think we're gonna keep on bringing people in?
I would say so. I think obviously 2020 was absolutely incredible, and it was kind of like the perfect storm for Pokemon, where you had so many of these events, which really I don't think that can be replicated again. Hopefully not, anyway. But yeah, you had so many of these events leading up to what happened in 2020. But outside of 2020, just like market growth in general, I do think we're pretty safe. Um, it's unfortunate what happened in 2020 with modern product, because even though people there's some people in the hobby who want to make money and are just concerned about the money. But for me personally, modern is about the younger generations, the little kids. Sure, it's also about us, but for the hobby to be successful, we got to have the little kids who enjoy Pokemon able to purchase modern product. If they're not able to purchase modern product, they're gonna get discouraged with the hobby. They're going to leave the hobby, and they're not going to have those fond memories, and get back into the hobby when they're older. So I would say hopefully Pokemon is able to kind of fix their issues with printing modern. They've been doing a better job already, but hopefully they're able to continue fixing those issues. And I personally sell modern product on eBay. I enjoy making money off of modern, but I cannot wait for the day where it's not profitable to sell booster boxes on eBay anymore. Be able to purchase modern product from distributors going back a multiple sets. I cannot wait for that day to come again, because it is, like I said, it is about having little kids enjoy the hobby and collect the cards, and then eventually grow up and get back into the hobby when they get older. Yeah, I was at Collectacon back in June, I believe, and it was crazy to me how many kids were actually interested in Pokemon. They would come up to my booth with their parents. Their parents would be looking at older stuff, Wizards of the Coast era cards, and the little kids were interested in the modern stuff that I had available. So that was awesome to see, kind of like multi-generation collectors. It's awesome to see that, and on like the most basic way to put it, for me, I absolutely love what King Pokemon, Gary from Pawn Stars, says. He's always said that Pokemon is going to be safe for 20 years after the last set is printed. And to me, that makes perfect sense. Basically meaning that whenever Pokemon does stop printing sets, so the last set comes out, Pokemon's going to still thrive up until 20 years after that, because you're going to have new people entering the hobby who collected that last set when they were kids. But after that, you're not going to have new generations of people coming into the hobby, because it's really not a thing anymore. So yeah, that's how I'd answer your question. I don't know what Mason has to say about that.
Yeah, all those pretty valid points. Sounds pretty good to me. People that are into Pokemon, it's kind of interesting. It's not like a lot of card games, and even like a lot of just collectibles. It seems like a lot of people that if you're into Pokemon, you're into Pokemon for life. There's no like people falling out of Pokemon. It always seems to be something that if they're really passionate about it, that they're going to stay with it and want to continue to collect it. And when they have children and things like that, they'll pull them into it, and they'll remember the fond times they had with it as a kid, and then they'll move that on to the next generation. So the market and the people that like Pokemon is ever expanding. It just adds, instead of like a wave where it comes and goes. I like to say that Pokemon snowballs, where it grows bigger and bigger as people grow up and have children, and then get them into the same thing. So it's really unique in that way. There's very few properties that have the same appeal and draw that Pokemon does. And 20 years after the last set of Pokemon is produced, or whatever the last game is made, or whatever, totally makes sense, because generationally, people will just eventually stop caring about it for sure. So, but yeah, I just think because Pokemon is so family friendly, and they're so innovative, and they always evolve into newer and better things that people of the modern generation will appreciate, with things like Pokemon Go and things like that. That it's not going to go anywhere. There is, I think, no safer IP than Pokemon, and obviously that shows because they're the biggest IP right now. So it's got huge appeal, and like I said, people that love Pokemon, they're going to love it for life, and they're going to want their kids to enjoy and appreciate it too. So it just seems like nobody's mad at Pokemon. No one's going to be upset at Pokemon ever. They're pretty infallible as far as that goes. Well, despite a couple of things with the new games, but never mind. Just other than that, people just always love Pokemon. There's just always people that are into it. So yeah, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I think Pokemon's good, and I don't know what the rest of you guys have thoughts about that or anything. But yeah, that's my spiel on that.
All right, so Swami, I wanted to ask you real quick. What was your actual question? Also, why is there an echo? Is that myself? Oh, okay, sorry about that, guys. So, Swami, what was your question? I didn't quite understand it. We're having technical difficulties, I see.
Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Sorry, we had some technical difficulties. We tried something while we were off screen. We're so sorry if things are confusing just now. All right, so go ahead, Swami.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it was just we messed something up on our end. Sorry about that.
It's all good. Yeah, I was just curious if this whole, I know the pandemic kind of pushed the market a certain way, but a lot of people, I'm just looking at, okay, from 2016 till even today, is it just a group of people that are hitting that 20 to 25 year later mark? There's a rule with collectibles, give it 20 to 25 years, and I personally think we have at least 10 years to go. Looking at Magic, I think Pokemon has the same type of trajectory, if not better, than Magic, because it's just even more popular than Magic. But Magic, you can make an argument. There's a lot of people that think Magic's on the way out. And from an outsider looking in, I could say, yeah, totally. I'm just curious, are the 15-year-olds of today going to be buying cards in 10 years?
All right. Thank you for clarifying that, because I got a little confused earlier. So I definitely do see there's going to be a demographic that is going to be reintroduced into the hobby in the future and come back. All of the noise we made last year with the Logan Paul stuff, with the pandemic bringing everyone in, Pokemon making the news for good and bad reasons, children, I would almost argue, have been more exposed to the knowledge of Pokemon than before in a financial aspect. I don't know how much they've actually interacted with the cards, considering, us adults kind of suck and we stole the stuff from them last year. But they definitely know it exists. And I think almost an argument that could be made is the fact that they know that Pokemon is worth money is going to bring in a different demographic down the line, because these kids will go, wait a minute, I heard this Charizard was worth a couple $100 because I believe back in November or December when I went to go get myself a console, in the line I was hearing people talk about the Champion's Path Rainbow Rare Charizard, like just random people. And I imagine that kind of demographic might be coming back in the future. And I really do want to poke holes in the idea of Pokemon just succeeding over the long term and just continuing to grow. But it's so hard to poke holes in it because I can't find the loot. What's going to happen, okay? Is Charizard are we going to find out that Charizard was doing steroids this whole time and ruin his reputation? Or that one of these other Pokemon was caught doing just list any number of things that a professional athlete could do. No, I don't know what they would do to mess it up. I do think people will come back in the future, and 100% what was said earlier, that even after the last set comes out, will be good for another 20 years. I do agree with that, because as we've seen in other collectibles, it dies when the last generation that was collecting that really dies off. And let's be honest, even if right now no one started collecting from the Sword and Shield block, we still have kids from the Sun and Moon block. We still have kids from the X and Y block who, if they're from the X and Y, they might be in their late teens now, maybe early to mid 20s. If they're in the Sun and Moon block, they're teenagers. They still have a ways to go until they reach their maximum purchasing power. So 100% I'm on board for that. Anyone have any, counterpoints they want to throw in there, or different thoughts? Because it seems like we're all pretty much on board for this one.
I just want to say, like, the comments are hilarious. Mike S says, my 6-year-old daughter only wants to pull fab legendaries. That's funny. But Yeah, I mean the only thing is like reserved investments. He'll always say exactly what you just said. Where you can't, I can't picture it. Right? We're all watching World of Warcraft go down the toilet right now, like
Oh man,
literally in front of our
Rip
eyes.
Blizzard.
But we all knew. I mean, I personally could see. Oh, World of Warcraft is gonna die one day. When Pandaria came out, I was walking into Target and I saw a big panda. I love pandas, but I saw a big panda on the World of Warcraft game cartridge, and I just thought it's over. Like they're gonna eventually go to the wayside, which was so crazy because you could never see World of Warcraft kind of dying off. And WoW will come back no matter what. That IP can never die, but it's you just don't want to get caught thinking your IP can't go to the wayside. I don't see it happening. I'm just saying that's kind of what all these collectibles people would say is I can't see it happening. So
Yeah, I mean,
Chapter.
it is interesting that you know in the past 25 years of Pokemon, I think now is more than ever where the old school guys and the new guys have meshed. We've never been as close together. We've always been very separate. The collectors have been over here, and the people that played or like the new stuff would be over here. I think the past year or so, we've never been so close together and enjoying things together like we have been this past year. So that's kind of a cool thing to see. I see a lot of people, guys in my store that come in and, the guys that are looking at my base set, Watsier case is talking to the people over there in the modern case and talking about Pokemon, and that was never really a thing before. So it's interesting, and it's as it gets more and more common, and as generational people, like I said, teach to their kids, and just being a nerd is cool and that kind of thing. It adds to more sociability of the hobby and collecting in general. And there's a lot of that we would love to talk to people about collecting and rare stuff. And when we were young, we didn't have YouTube and we didn't have roundtables like this to talk to. I would never be thinking I would talk to somebody like Old School Pokemon about anything like what. Well, but and here we are. It's a crazy time to be into Pokemon, and it's awesome. So that's just really cool.
All right, so I'm going to open up the comments again to some more questions. We'll run through them again. If we didn't get to them before, I apologize. Just copy and paste them. But while those are coming in, I wanted to ask you guys, what do you guys think are the number one best set in the Sword and Shield block and the worst set in the Sword and Shield block? For me, also keep in mind, I'm talking Japanese and English because there is a big discrepancy.
Okay.
On the Japanese end, I'd have to say what I view as the best set, I'd have to view it as Eevee Heroes. The identity is just so strong there. And for the worst set, I got to go with Rebel Trash, English one specifically.
Damn.
I would agree with you there. Eevee Heroes being the best set. If I had to pick an English, it'd be Vivid Voltage, and then worst would definitely be Rebel Clash for sure.
Go ahead, Swammey. What do you got?
I like Blue Sky Stream over Eevee Heroes.
Wow.
I do.
Out of left
I
field.
think if you put in, I got to open this a couple boxes and I got some more, so I'm going to keep going. But I just love Gyarados, Dragonite, and Rayquaza. And then the alt arts are amazing, and I love the Eevee Heroes.
But imagine if they took a set where they combined Eevees and all those cool things. Wouldn't that be great?
That would be.
Yeah, actually, but we haven't seen it yet. Haven't seen it yet, and it'll be extremely difficult to pull anything. But
you'd be 1,000 cards in the set.
Yeah, go ahead, Mason.
The worst set. I know I was just talking it up, so this is going to be Champion's Path was a set that shouldn't have existed.
Yeah,
clearly
that's an abomination.
It is. It's like how I would love to know the story behind what happened where Shining Fates and Champion's Path diverged and split and became two different things. There must be some crazy story about it. There's got to be some reasoning behind it, and I don't know what it is, but maybe one day we'll finally hear a story about it because it is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen.
Stretch the money, Charizard, right?
I looked.
I mean, I
man,
guess, yeah, maybe.
When Champion's Path dropped, I looked so foolish because I was warning against it. I'm like, hey, Champion's Path does not look like it has anything going for it right now. This looks like utter garbage. I've looked through all the cards. Then, not only do they come in and just sucker punch you with that free promo Charizard V full art, they then, while you're on the ground, proceed to kick you another time in the gut with that Shining Charizard V, and then just one more in the face for good measure with that Rainbow Rare Trophy Charizard VMAX.
Yep.
Who saw that coming? And they ripped the Rainbow Rares out of Darkness Ablaze. Did you guys notice that? Rainbow Rares that should have been in Darkness Ablaze,
Yeah,
that their
correct,
full arts
yes.
were in it, they
Yeah.
put it in Champion's Path. Why?
I know, it's so tough, man. I opened up one ETB SGR. I was pack battling him, and I was fully prepared. I'm just kind of like fully prepared to have a bunk ETB, and I pulled the Charizard, and I was like, "Hey, what's up?"
Oh yeah, these are in here. That's right.
Yeah,
No, yeah, definitely the worst. I would say is Champion's Path. It's a set that shouldn't have existed, and the best is going to be Evolving Skies.
Oh, yeah, I would definitely agree with you there.
Don't at me. That's
All
not
right,
even a hot take. So that's just like
So we have a very important question from Captain Zach Sparrow. On a scale of 1 to 10, how attractive is Mason?
It's fair. It's a fair question.
with this red background, and he's got a fresh haircut today, right?
Look,
I mean, I'd
cleaned
have
up
to
for
say
you guys.
Mason-
I tried to do the best
You
I
got
could.
a
with what I
haircut,
got,
dude.
Okay.
I'd have to say Mason is normally a 10, but this MetaZoo red background, that's automatically making him like a 6.
Oh
Ooh,
man. Okay.
man.
All right. That's fine. A 6 is still good. A 6 is better than I deserve. So that's
All right,
fine.
so here we go. The first question we got. Top 3 new TCGs that could potentially extend like Pokemon. 3, I can't even think of 3 new ones.
Oh, I
Thank
got
you.
something to say. Because
Yeah.
Mason said Pokemon's #1 biggest, and I gotta say,
Absolutely.
I was looking at that 2019. You were talking about how you see Pokemon doing very well. It's the largest IP.
Yeah.
I'm not picking at you or anything, but
No, it's
I was
fine.
just looking at that list of, I think it was on Wikipedia in 2019. They had put how much money all the different IPs made, and Pokemon was #1.
Mhm.
Well, I was looking at that list, and Marvel is actually #1. If you add up, because in that list they had, okay, Marvel Universe. If Pokemon made 100 million, or was worth 100 million, Marvel Universe made 30 million. But then if you kept going down the list, it was like, oh, Spider-Man made 25 million. Thor made 17 million. The Avengers made 17 million. It was like, oh, so you got to start adding them all up together, and you're like, oh man, Marvel is the biggest IP in the game. So that's my answer, and that's the only answer I got to that question.
So Marvel has a TCG that's going to be better than Pokemon. Is that what
It's
you're
not
saying?
TCG.
Or is that what?
It's not TCG. I don't mess with any other TCG. It's a collectible.
So
card.
you were just refuting that the #1 IP is not Pokemon, it's Marvel.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay,
I thought I had to throw that out there.
that's fine.
I know this is like the most milk toast answer. Flesh and Blood. Like that's the only one I can see really growing. Possibly Weiss, because that's been getting some more steam recently, especially with Rudy talking about it and bring it more to the forefront. And maybe as a third one, I guess kind of Digimon. I have seen people talk about that, but everyone hates Bandai Namco, and their distribution model.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to pick one that I'm gonna bet on, that's not Pokemon. I guess I don't know. Digimon's pretty hype. A lot of people do like Digimon. It's a shame that nobody can play this game because the product's just not there. But from the outside, it looks pretty good, and that's definitely at least the game that I've seen that is like at least thought about as much to some people as Pokemon is.
I mean, at least they're not shipping you damaged boxes.
They're not shipping me boxes at all, so yeah, that
Okay.
is that's true. But yeah, Digimon is cool. Of like the newest stuff, I think that's pretty. Definitely has the best behind it. Um, Flesh and Blood. I don't know about Flesh and Blood. I keep going back and forth about it. I'm still waiting for somebody to actually play the game in my store. I haven't seen it. To actually sit down and play it. I have not seen it played in my store, and maybe once I see it played, I'll be convinced. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not too hype on it. We'll see what the big cash draw prize. What's it called? The what is it? The calling? The calling?
Yeah, the calling.
The calling. Terrible name. The worst possible. What is that? Some sort of. Never mind. I don't know. We'll see what it does. But yeah, definitely not MetaZoo. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
They messed it up.
Pretty much
MetaZoo.
pick any
I feel so
new
bad for
TCG
them, man.
other than MetaZoo.
Yeah. I would just agree with you guys because I really don't follow anything outside of
Okay.
Pokemon. Pokemon's my
Fair
whole
enough.
life.
I bought a lot of Weiss. I bought Dungeons and Dragons Magic the Gathering. I
Sorry
bought
about
Godzilla Magic the Gathering. I haven't bought any Flesh and Blood, but it was never at a good price. Even
Mike
by
S,
the
I do
time.
sell Flesh and Blood. I'm sorry, Swami. I do sell Flesh and Blood in my store. Thank you, though.
Okay. DBS, I tried out. In fact, I went to a local game store to play, and they were not having tournaments. So I gave up on that. Weiss, I got a ton of Weiss for Seven Deadly Sins coming. It's a really fun collectible. I love what they do with signatures and stuff like that, making like hyper rare cards, like super hard to pull stuff. But I don't believe in like the collectability or like the investability of that at all. I mean, I bought a lot of Weiss that did go up, but I also think it's just a fun thing to do on the cheap. I mean, a lot of Weiss boxes are going for a lot of money right now. I know I sold some Evangelion Weiss. I better not talk about that, but I don't know. I like a lot of things. I don't know if it's investable. But
All right. Currently, I'm trying to go through the questions. I lost where I was a little bit ago. There we go. What do you guys think of the falling pre-order prices of Evolving Skies booster boxes? I don't think we can really talk about that unless if you expand.
I couldn't even tell you what pre-orders are selling for right now. I think it's a good sign overall though, because it means that there's well, it's tough to say because people do take fake pre-orders where they don't actually have the product allocated just yet. But I guess it could mean that there's going to be more product available upon release. I know for me personally, I'm getting my allocation isn't as much as it has been in the past. So I do think they are printing more than in the past, which is a good thing.
How's your allocation looking, Mason?
Good on booster boxes, not so good on the ETBs.
Oh yeah, you said you're getting more Elite Trainer boxes from Celebrations than you are Evolving Skies, correct?
Yes, I am currently allocated more Celebrations ETBs than I am for Evolving Skies ETBs.
Wow.
Yes. So yeah, interesting there. I don't know. It looks like on TCG Player, boxes are like 130. They were doing like 145 when allocations dropped, so $15 drop. So
Not too bad.
I don't know if it's plummeting. Maybe eBay's doing cheaper. I don't know, but
So what you're saying, Mason, is Evolving Skies ETBs is what's going to stunk, not Celebrations, right?
I think they definitely have a lot of people that are interested. Definitely.
Yeah, especially with the supply divided 4 ways.
Well, the Pokemon Center ETBs for Evolving Skies sold out super quick.
Yep.
Really? Oh, I was able to purchase one for like I think for like a solid hour. I might be wrong.
Oh, within an hour. I still think that's really quick.
Okay,
For how many they're gonna have.
I'm used to like literal like minutes to seconds because of how bad it was last year.
We didn't mention Yu-Gi-Oh at all. How did we let that slip?
Yu-Gi-Oh's not a new TCG.
Yeah, that's true. It's
Yeah,
true.
Yu-Gi-Oh's alive and well. It has Yu-Gi-Oh has the when did the anime era? I forgot, like 2000 and something. Like, those people are still around. They got plenty of time. So
we need to figure out what these reprints are doing to Blue Eyes White Dragon, because they're coming out with another Charizard, and they're gonna keep coming out with Charizard base set. Not saying it's a bad thing, but like Evolutions, the Surfing and Flying Pikachu's PSA 10s were selling for $150, $200. That those cards, you would get 98% pull rate for both in an Evolutions booster box.
yeah,
And in a PSA 10, they were going for almost 200 because they had never been graded, because you got them in every box. So let alone all of the available, if anyone's smart, I should have bought a ton of them, graded them and flipped them. I didn't, but I would not be surprised if somebody did. But let's say that the graded pop shoots up, that would kill the card, and there's plenty of population of that card out there for the pop to shoot up. But now they're coming out with Flying and Surfing Pikachu full art. What does that do to the card? I don't know if it kills it. I don't know why on earth people are paying $200 for the Evolutions, which was more than the original Flying Pikachu. It's just, and now they've got a brand new version, full
we're jumping
art.
the gun on my question. I think is what we're doing. I think we're.
We can cover your question.
No, it's golf. It's all good.
I forgot.
No, you're right. It's fine. It's
all right. So
You're trying to take the credit for Mason's question.
No. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh sells well. It's always sold well. Konami.
yeah, I've heard it's really consistent.
Konami has it down to a science of how to make a card game and have it every set. People perpetually buy it over and over and over.
I did hear they had one major set that popped off in what was it, Toon Chaos?
Yeah,
That one went insane. I heard about it everywhere.
one of the only modern boxes to actually get an unlimited print run.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very unusual for modern Yu-Gi-Oh to have unlimited cards. You
Jet
always see the
Trip.
first edition. It's pretty much every card is first edition except Toon Chaos.
Oh. It's interesting. Jet Trip, stop shilling Neuvern. You're so lucky. Like one of my people, Jet Trip, he loves Neuvern, and that Pokemon keeps getting full arts. And Gyarados got robbed of an alternate art VMAX. And
Somebody at TCG, Pokemon International, loves Neuvern. And I think that's got to be what it is. Because it always gets an ultra rare, and it always gets a holo. It always gets in the sets somehow. It's cool. It's an okay Pokemon. It's fine. It's definitely not a Gyarados.
We got 2 more questions, and then we'll head over to Old School's questions. So, before the hype spiked, what was the best purchase/trade you made that you've seen the most growth from?
I've got a good one.
Yeah, you go ahead. I gotta think.
I actually, back in March of 2020, I actually was lucky enough to buy King Pokemon, Gary from Pawn Stars, first edition base, common and uncommon inventory. It was all I bought 1,200 cards from him. I would say 1,100 out of those 1,200 were gradable, meaning PSA 8 and above. And at the time, I paid market value for them, which was around 10. We did around like $7.50 per common, $10 per uncommon, and then like $25 for the starters. And I bought them in March, and I actually left for my full-time job working on a cargo ship shortly after that, and kind of just forgot about the cards until I came back. And when I came back, they were worth a whole lot more than when I had left. So that would be my best purchase before the spike.
I think my best one was my case of evolutions I decided to pick up. I decided to go pick that up after I heard that Pokemon did last call. I said, all right, I guess it's time. They're finally done with that. And I expected it to grow a little bit, like not a terrible amount. Like I was thinking maybe 20% because it was so old. I was not expecting a 1,000% return. Jesus.
Yes, definitely.
That was just oh my god.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mason.
No, I was just thinking about we were talking about pre shutdown. When shutdown happened, we took all of our singles out of our glass display cases just to store them, and we were going to go through them and list them online or whatever. So we didn't know how long it was going to last, and what things were going to happen. So I actually lost an ETB. We use like the ETB bottoms to hold card singles because it's just a nice container to put singles in. I actually lost one of those, and it was had like all the fire type stuff, so it had like all the old Charizards and stuff in them.
Oh,
and we didn't find them until like right when Logan Paul did his thing. So all of our Charizards that we're selling for like $45 a piece for a base set unlimited, whatever. Was now selling for like $120, $150. So it was a good thing that I lost it because I had like 8 of them in there. So it's kind of wild. But yeah, that's cool. I don't know if that counts as a good purchase, but I traded with myself, I guess. I don't know.
I like it. He's like, we'll find it one day, and then Logan Paul does a live stream. He's like, we're finding it right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had a lot of just stuff like full art trainers. I saw a Misty's Determination full art trainer. No, Misty's Favor with the hearts, the pink hearts. I saw a sale for a PSA 10 for $1 in 2020. That same card ended up going for $450. I sold a lot of full art trainers for $40-$50. But I had a lot going into the whole full art trainer boom. That was fun. I really wish. What was crazy to me was like in June or May, I bought a Skyridge non-hollow Gyarados PSA 10. That nasty one where he's like full mouth screaming at you. I bought that for $250. I ended up selling it for I think I sold it for $450, but I had it listed at like $600. And I had higher offers than $450, but literally the guy was like, "Dude, I was the guy bidding against you on this at $250 like a month and a half ago." Like I was like, okay, this guy really wants his card. He's still like going after the same card, and he paid an extra $200. I could have sold it more to somebody else, but just because he wanted that card, whatever it was, however the numbers worked out, it was something real close to that. But that's when I knew it was just crazy madness. What's going on in the chat?
All right, and so last question before we move on is going to be, who is the current printer for Modern, and will we see a return to WotC? The printer for Modern is just Old School and Mason who can answer that one.
I
There's
have no idea.
Like the company that actually prints it? Is that what they're asking?
Yeah, I think that's what they're asking.
There's a couple places around the country that print for basically all the big card games like Magic and Pokemon. Yu-Gi-Oh has their own facilities. Anything Bushy Road, they have their own facilities as well. So all Y Swords, Cardfight Vanguard, that's all made in their own facilities as well. Millennium Printing is probably the biggest, I would say. They actually have multiple locations now. When I did my How Pokemon Cards Are Made, I did a video, and it was from Millennium Printing is where I got the footage, because they are one of the only places that actually had footage of like how stuff was packaged and how stuff like that was even put together, and how in a factory setting it was stored and things like that. So that was kind of a cool thing to get that from. Wizard of the Coast, like I said, no longer prints even Magic stuff. So I guess in a way they're using the same printers. So hey, we did it. We returned to WotC stuff. I don't know. But yeah, Magic doesn't print their own stuff either. So
All right, so yeah, that's all we can really add in, since Mason was the one with the most know-how on it. So let's pass it on to Old School Pokemon with his question.
So my question was, I was away when CGC first got in the grading scene back in June of 2020, and I was away until the end of November. But when I returned home, I quickly built submissions for CGC, sent them off into CGC, and I've actually just been getting a few of them back just recently over the past month or so. So I've been thinking a lot about CGC lately, and my question for this live stream was involving CGC. So obviously, in terms of grading companies specifically for Pokemon cards, since we're all here for Pokemon, grading companies for Pokemon cards, the two big ones, obviously, I would put PSA as number one, BGS as number two. You have a whole bunch of other smaller companies, which I personally don't value too much. SGC is obviously getting up there, but for this argument, we're just going to talk about PSA and BGS. So my thing would be, where PSA and BGS both have such a kind of massive influence on the graded card market within Pokemon, is there still room for a third legitimate grading company to kind of enter the grading scene and be successful within Pokemon? I know right now there are people who do value CGC, myself included. I'm a huge CGC fan. But right now, anyway, there's a lot of the majority of people either just don't like CGC because they've already built a PSA or BGS collection, and they don't want to have that differing cases and differing labels. Or there's another portion of people that like CGC because they can cross over to PSA. So I kind of think right now CGC is more of a value grading company where people are sending off cheap cards because it's cheaper than PSA. Obviously, now that PSA is shut down, you can't send cards to PSA, so people are sending cards to CGC. But the question is, will CGC ever be able to not be looked down upon as like a value grading company and actually become a legitimate grading company? My personal opinion is I think PSA is always going to remain number one. I think they've just been doing this for so long. They've kind of built that foundation where they're always going to be number one. But in my personal opinion, I think CGC is doing a much better job than BGS is doing with Pokemon, at least. And I think eventually it's going to take time. It's going to take years of kind of legitimizing themselves. But I think eventually CGC will take over the number two spot, which is BGS, in my opinion, right now. So I think eventually it'll be PSA is number one and CGC is number two. But I don't know what you guys think on that. If you have any input on that.
No, yeah. I like CGC personally. I think it's a good company. I definitely consider their experience in other collectibles to be definitely valuable. I do like them more than Beckett. I don't know why. I just do. If they would just fix the damn numbers on their grade labels so it's centered and not in the middle of a freaking box where it's off to the side, it's skewed. How are you going to give something a 10 on centering, but you can't even center your own grade? Anyways, I don't know. I just think CGC is getting a lot of good press about how firm they are with grades. I think that does a lot for their brand. I think it builds it up and gives them more credibility and gives them more of a higher clout in that, they're actually consistent and grading more uniformly and more harshly. I think that's a good thing. That's never a bad thing. And, maybe we will one day see the 10s from CGC be better than price-wise. I think they already are better than a PSA. But the chats distracted me. Sorry. Yeah, I just think they need to keep that and keep that harsh grading mentality, because I think it really does elevate them to a different level than PSA, where PSA will, they'll look at it and it seems just PSA just seems very sloppy, and I don't know if that's just because we've seen more returns from them, or if it's because we have more of a guideline to go off of, because there's so many of them out there and they've been doing it for so long. But yeah, I do like CGC. I do like their label better. Subgrades are there's no reasons why subgrades should not be a thing anymore. It should definitely just be standard. Just make your stuff. Just make it standard. You could charge the same as PSA and just have subgrades be for free, and people would still choose you over PSA. I think personally, but yeah. I think they do really have to step themselves and elevate themselves from PSA. Being harsher with grades is definitely a step in the right direction, and then do even more with saying looking with technology and how you do card scans, and with light scans, how you look for ink markings and counterfeit detection and stuff like that. All that stuff adds to credibility, and I think PSA is in a very weak point, probably the weakest they've ever been as far as being seen as like the premier grader, but they're definitely the standard grader. So I think that it's where CGC could really and is gaining ground, because I don't think it's any even remotely close as far as let's say an 8, a CGC 8 to a PSA 8. I think we all can trust that 8 from a CGC being more consistent across 100 cards per se than a PSA 8, for example. So yeah, that's all I got. Anybody else want to add some stuff?
All right, so now it's up to me. Sarah, I'm up now, right? Okay, good. So, you actually did kind of change my mind a bit about where I viewed CGC in relation to BGS, because, yeah, I'm 100% in the camp of PSA is the unchallenged king right now. Like, no one's going to be able to dethrone them at this time, because everyone just trusts them. They're the gold standard. They were here first. Everyone just... It's really hard to dethrone what's almost a monopoly at this point. The way I've always seen it is there's PSA, which is consistency. Just throw them in there. That's where you'll most likely get the best price. BGS, you aim for the pristine 10s, either the gold or the black label. Anything below a 9.5 is also just completely... It's completely unreliable, okay? Honestly. BGS will do whatever they feel like. You'll send it in one time, you get a 5. You send it in again, suddenly you get a 3. Again, you get a 7. They're unreliable below that 9.59. And CGC, I almost don't see it changing from being the value option, where it's where I'm going to send my cards if I'm going to flip them. If I have something really expensive, I don't even consider the idea of CGC. And I barely even consider BGS because, to be fair, most of your cards you send to BGS are not going to be the pristine 10s. But you send it to PSA, an 8 or a 9 is still going to fetch a higher premium than a BGS 8 or 9. But I do agree wholeheartedly. CGC has pretty good consistency from what I've seen, which the consistency is far better than BGS. And their 10 is attempting to compete with the BGS Black Label. I don't think it can, though. But because of that consistency, it may actually put it on an even playing field with BGS, where it's CGC is the cheaper PSA and has consistency. But if you want to go all the way in to maximize your money, BGS all the way, gamble on that Black Label. Because I've done that myself. I sent in a Rainbow Rare Charizard VMAX from Champion's Path, immediately expressed, got it back, and then I traded it for, I think, a PSA 9 Neo Discovery Umbreon and a PSA 9 Gold Star Jolteon. So that's kind of how I think they're just going to stay forever. And as SM Brad has said, because CGC is so cheap, and only recently I think they started increasing their prices a little bit, they're going to be the sponsors of the Junk Slab era because it's sponsored by the cheapest grading company. And right now, that is them. And I know Mason can attest to this firsthand. People are sending utter garbage through CGC. I believe this might have been back in like October or something, or no, I'm not sure. He can probably confirm when this was. People were grading the Charizard from the Hidden Fates tin, and it was like a PSA or a CGC 7 or 8, and it was just absolutely worthless. Just pointless at the time. I think he ended up selling it for a nice bit of profit. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I'll pass it off to Swammey now.
All right, so I'm CGC bull. I'm just letting everybody know that I've been on CGC because of the company. You know, I've purchased these for years, right? So I sat there and I thought to myself, yes. I submitted to CGC within the first week. That's just because I have some experience with the company through their comic books, and I trust the company 100%. So I'm just letting y'all know where I come from on it because I'm a bull for CGC. I think it's tough to, the average Pokemon card sold for $50 to $100 all day, every day. That was the average sales price of a graded Pokemon card before 2020. And we're coming right back down to that right now. You had $2 million worth of sales in June just for PSA and 8,400. So let's just do that math real quick. Divided by 8,500. Whew, still $235 a card for a graded Pokemon card. That's crazy. Before 2020, the average Pokemon card sales price was like $50 to $100. And you got to think about it's still the majority of cards are selling well below 235, but that's the average sales price. And I'm not sitting here thinking that PSA's prices are going to come back down. And if PSA's prices don't come back down, then PSA is going to be reserved for sports cards because those are the only cards that makes any sense to be grading with PSA. You can't be sending in, shiny Lapras V to PSA when you're going to get, even if you get a 10, that card's $50. Like, you're not making any money. In fact, you're probably losing some money. And I don't know. I think PSA right now, if anybody watches, oh gosh, I'm so sorry, I don't remember his name, but there's a guy that's tracking how many cards per month, per week PSA is grading and the breakdown of those cards. So he's saying, okay, they graded 30,000, non-TCG or non-sports cards. They graded 100,000 basketball cards, and each month they're grading like 750,000 cards a month. Okay, the majority of that is sports. They're on track to catch up eventually, right? And if they do, it's going to be they're going to come to a road where they can either say, okay, we need to lower the prices so we get more submissions because we're all caught up, and we need more submissions to keep up with our ability to grade cards, or they say, okay, we're going to keep the price here and we're going to let some graders go, and we're just going to keep grading cards at $50 a card instead of $15 a card. Like, I don't know which way they go. I don't know if PSA's prices come back down. PSA is the standard, right? I'm sorry with the sun. It's the standard, but that doesn't mean it's always going to be that way. CGC is a quality product. They do, when they first came out, I experienced it. They had poor welds, the welding on their cases. Am I worried about that? No. MetaZoo comes out fresh out the gate and they screw up a bunch of boxes because whoever was shipping it from overseas, whatever the problem is, I wasn't too worried about it because guess what they did? They fixed the issue extremely fast. And, CGC, I know from personal experience, they're selling fine. I posted 4 Munch cards last night and they were sold before I woke up. And yeah, I priced them just a little bit under, like for the Pikachu 9, I priced it a little bit under a PSA 9, just to get it sold, just for cash flow, because I'd have like $5,000 worth of stuff I want to grade right now. But it sells fine. Yeah, you can eat a little bit, but when it costs like from a 9.5 to a 10, but when it costs you $15 to get a card graded, let's say you're talking about $1,000 card, like and at a 9.5, and maybe it's $1,500 in a PSA 10. Well, send it to PSA later for $50 or whatever it is, because you're probably going to get a 10. And okay, now when you're talking about like a modern card, it makes zero difference. I sold a 8.5 Charizard, the Illustrator Charizard, the one where they printed a bunch, and that it's a great card. He's in the stadium. It's the one that came out last year. An 8.5 for like $30 and a 9 for $45. And it's like I probably could have sold that 8.5 for $35 if I'd have put it up there for $35. The 9 sells identically with the PSA 9. So no, I see zero issues with resellability of CGC, and you are right. Typically, I sold a Mimikyu for $2,000. The Munch 9.5 and it was a 9.5 Munch Mimikyu. Sold it for $2,000, and the PSA 10 at the time was going for like $2,200. Did I wait? Did I pay $300 to get, during that whole period where PSA was so backed up? I made more money than somebody that paid $300 to get that card graded and backed so they could get it on the market. Or I made $150 less if they paid bulk prices back before PSA got backed up. I'm just saying, you got to watch. I am not so sure. PSA is king right now. No one's having an issue with CGC. We added a lot of demand last year, and they're not having an issue with it. I think you're going to be surprised by CGC. I think CGC is going to surprise a lot of people, especially if PSA can't bring their prices back down. And yeah, people will wait for bulk to come back down, PSA pricing, Well, everybody gets anxious. I'm very ready to buy modern booster boxes at MSRP, which is $90 to $95, not $144. I'm pumped for that, right? I'm getting antsy. I'm grading, but someone can get just as antsy to get their cards graded, and PSA is not there yet. Yeah, they're going to catch up. Yeah, they're grading a lot of cards. But even when they catch up, who's to say they drop prices? So I love CGC, and again, I'm pro CGC. I was with it before. I'm actually upset that they're not grading Marvel. So I think everyone's going to be a little bit surprised with CGC. And I think CGC 10s are going to save Modern if Modern goes in the route of there's just too many. CGC 10s can save those. Now I'm looking at Shiny Lapras V. There's VMAX. I think it's the full art. Yeah, 144 PSA 10s. In the same Shining Fates population report, the Charizard has like 2,215 10s. 2,215 10s for the SV107. I can tell you that 10s do sell higher in CGC, but you're definitely going to want your Charizard VMAX full art 107 in a CGC 10 case than you are in a PSA 10 case. Now, you're not going to get the CGC 10, but that's why if you're out there buying, right? I saw the full art Lapras VMAX sell for $81 in the 10. People are going to want shiny Lapras, and the 10 is going to be what gets you the modern value. So if you're buying, I'd be looking at that. $81. It's not bad at all. It's very collectible. I think the hobby gets back to a collectible price between $50 and $100. And in that case, if PSA's prices don't come down, then say hello to CGC. I think the cases are extremely clear. The cards look great. I don't understand any kind of hate on CGC. Yeah, no, the centering, that's hilarious actually. But that is really funny. But that's about all I got to say. I just think you'll be surprised. I think it's such a pain for Europeans to submit to PSA, like for the majority of it. I think what's his name? Randolph? Sure. I think that'll do fine. If they grade as hard as CGC, I think the best thing about CGC is that they're extremely hard. In fact, CGC needs to look at their full art, their etched foiling. I think that pre-screen with the etched full art foiling, I think the computer's getting a little bit wacky. And then they're giving the surface a bad grade, even though the surface is fine. The whole card is just etched everywhere. But even in like Canada and that Mint, if it's easy to submit to Canada and Mint, as long as they give out honest grades, I think they'll do fine too. A lot of graders have come and gone, but it's a different world when you can't submit to PSA for $10 and get it back in a reasonable time. That's all I got.
All right, then. So we're about to open it back up to responses. I know Mason definitely wants to say something about the MSRP and the Ace Company, so I'm going to pass it on to him now. But it's still going to be an open floor, and you guys can keep bringing questions in.
MSRP is actually $144 a booster box. That's $3.99 a pack. But yeah, obviously that's just me being facetious. Yeah, cheap booster boxes are always good. But we're talking about grading. And people were in the chat, and I was watching, and they were talking about Mint, and they're talking about Ace. Obviously, we don't know how Ace is going to do because we haven't got there yet. So we'll see what they start grading. I think their label idea is ambitious. I think it's kind of crazy. And when a grading company is more concerned about how the case looks than actually grading the card, that gives issues. Personally, I think that's You're going a lot more for just put my card in a pretty case that matches it, so it looks good, and authenticate it and make it sure it all matches, and it's going to be real pretty, so I can sell it for higher. That's what so far I think about Ace, but no issues with them at all, or anything with Randolph or anything of them. So wishing them the best, but obviously we don't know until we see what's going on. That's all I got really specifically, but yeah.
All right, so the floor is open for it. If anyone wants to ask a question, and I'll grab one. Let's see what we got.
Hopefully, Ace does care about the grading. I mean, and just on the side hooks it up with a good looking.
I mean, that's the ideal, right? I mean, that's just in Randolph's initial video, he talked for the bulk majority of the time of how they would choose colors of the card to match with the case. And I don't know, if you're unveiling a grading card company, I think that's not really it's something that you should be talking about the most.
Here's a good one. This is just my personal question. What do you guys think about AGS grading? I think it's a new grading company is coming up using technology, and I believe Gary King Pokemon is one of the people pushing it, or he's a partner in it. It was at Collectacon, if you guys saw it, Swammey and Old School. It was right next to the stage.
So many grading companies. It's crazy.
I didn't have a chance to go up to them and see what they were all about at Collectacon. I wish I did, but it was just crazy busy. But I'm really looking forward to what they have to bring to the table with the whole kind of like scanning in a card and being able to get your grade. I think that technology could be really big. I'm not too optimistic that they themselves will kind of develop that technology and use that technology to grade cards. I think it's going to be more so that they build the technology, start using it, and then eventually sell off to PSA, CGC, BGS, one of these other companies. But it'll be really interesting to see where that goes. It would be awesome to be able to scan cards with your phone and be able to get a rough idea on what the overall grade would be. But I personally, I don't know much about technology and making these apps and all that, but I personally don't know if that could work out. Because I personally think you really need to have the card in your hand to determine the grade. With just like kind of moving around in the light to see scratches on the hollow or scratches on the surface in general. I don't know how like a scan of a card could determine those types of issues.
There's a lot of good comments and questions.
Yeah, so actually I'm going to let you, whoever's looking at the YouTube comments right now, you guys are welcome to pick one out that intrigues you. I'm currently looking through them.
Yeah, so somebody says modern slabs are going to be worthless one day. I don't think so. I could picture somebody paying $40-$50 for a shiny Lapras VMAX Rainbow Rare. There's only 144 in the world. I graduated with 4,000 people.
Can I show you some slabs I bought recently? So while you talk about slabs being potentially worthless.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Just keep on going.
So, oh my God, yes, totally worthless. Why?
Go ahead. Continue. Go ahead.
Oh my God. So yeah, I mean, if the price of the box is definitely tied to the price of the cards inside, without a doubt. Somebody came in and gave you these, huh?
I did pay for them.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you paid a nice price for them.
Yeah, how much you pay them? Like pennies on the dollar for that thing? I can't move it.
Here we go. It's a 9. It's a 9.
Number 11, $40.
No, I guess that was like in a vendor's booth. He tried to get $40 for it.
Oh man.
Good for him. How about this
Mason.
They
one?
were getting $40 for
this is a
stuff
good one.
like that.
Hey Mason, how much you want to bet? There's going to be a ton of people who are going to grade the main set of celebrations. That's 25 cards, and they're going to try to move it at good prices.
Oh, no doubt. Here we go. Good one.
My God,
A
I can't.
6. Why'd it get it 6?
Oh
These
yeah,
are,
Mason.
These are all
you
packed
want,
fresh. These are not haven't been played with.
Mason,
Why'd
you
it
want
get
to
a
talk
6?
about
I have
that
no idea. I have no idea.
PSA 1
PSA doesn't have
Burning Shadows?
subgrades, so I can't tell why it got a 6.
Doesn't have subgrades.
Would you ask?
I was asking, you want to talk about the PSA 1 Burning Shadows Charizard you got up on your site?
Hey, it's one of two in the world. A PSA 2 Rainbow Charizard GX. I don't know what the price is on it, but it's probably worth every penny.
Nah, it's not focusing. Let's see what we got. I got a bunch of cards back. Groudon.
Like we're all just
That's a good
kind
one.
of making fun of
These are worth
stupid cards we've graded or seen graded.
See, I love Toxtricity. It's a
There
good
you
looking
go.
card.
Yeah, with that 9, that's looks good.
Woo. Yeah, I'll be selling that guy.
Come on.
What do you
Look
think
at
I'm
that
gonna get for it?
0.5. Look how left. That's OC as hell.
Who cares? Who cares? This card, like, it will sell, and it's insanity. Like, what will sell? I got all these like rainbows,
Oh, absolutely.
Lucario, Gardevoir.
Like I said,
Solgaleo.
I love CGC. I think I like their label design.
I actually like their labels too. I think they're really good. I don't understand why people don't like them.
I don't either.
I just don't like the blue. Like that's it. I don't like the blue as much. I like the color red, so I'm biased in that regard.
Okay.
How much are people in the chat paying for these Pikachu Vs?
I actually sold one on Whatnot the other night for a pretty good price, but that may have been an exception.
Oh, I need to ask you about Whatnot. Should I be getting on Whatnot?
It's tough to get on right now because it's such a new app. But if you can, I would highly recommend it.
Yeah,
right.
no. Cameron Taylor Tay4 says the card value will be flat. It's like, yeah, no. These I got a couple cool ones coming up real quick, but Solgaleo, but yeah, no, they probably will be flat. These are sick.
All right, so here's a very data-driven investing question that someone wanted to ask. How many additional set releases do you think we need to see until we have enough trend data on market dynamics to accurately characterize the new normal and the post-2020 era? I can repeat that if you need me.
Yeah.
Is this a math question? What am I doing?
Yeah.
Am I
my
getting
work?
a degree if I answer this right?
This is someone was asking this in the YouTube. They posted in the Discord. Okay, so that's where it'll be if you guys want to know. I'm gonna come back to the YouTube questions. I promise. How many additional set releases do you think we need to see until we have enough trend data on market dynamics to accurately characterize the new normal in the post-2020 era? So I basically wants to know how many more sets do we need to see before we can make any form of prediction on what's going to happen to the sets in terms of price appreciation, growth that is in any way, shape, or form reliable. Because everything from the 2020 era they're saying is completely unreliable because it was an anomaly, and I do to an extent agree.
I think it has entirely not to do with how many sets or how old the set is or anything, but it has everything to do with how desirable are those cards in those sets. That's really what it comes down to. I don't think there's like a mathematical formula that we can come up with to say whether or not these prices are consistent enough. I mean, it's long-term desirability is what will dictate what price is. So I really can't answer that personally. I don't know what it would take.
Jacob Wilson's got a good answer. X equals 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Population. Everything is population.
The truth is, I've tried to figure this out, but the thing is, Pokemon, even though I have my spider system, I got the rat system, Pokemon at the end of the day is more so an art than a science. You just kind of gotta eyeball it. I wouldn't, for the only answer I can provide that I feel comfortable saying is, I wouldn't get any data as to how sets appreciate, at least for like another year or two. Time has to pass. We need to see all the hype die down. We need to see how the good and the bad sets perform, because like definitively battle styles, like I said, if it didn't have alternate arts, it would be a Crimson Invasion level set, but alternate arts saved it. So we'd have to see how that ages by comparison to Chilling Reign. But we need to wait until it gets out of rotation, which is what, 2023, I'm pretty sure. So
For which set?
Battle Styles and Chilling Reign.
Oh no, they'll go till
I think
Battle
that's
Styles was
2023.
no, yeah, it was the summer set, so it'll actually be before the regular cutoff, so it'll actually be it'll be 2024
Oh man.
if they follow the normal rules.
Yeah, because they
No, wait,
did
no,
just chop off
2023.
all
You're
of
correct. I'm
summer.
sorry. Like I said, it's before the cutoff. So if it was Chilling Reign, it would be the next year. But you're correct. Yeah.
All right, let's see if there's any.
I would just throw out there, it's
Okay.
all population.
Yes.
Out of the what was it? Shining Fates, out of the 7,500 tens, 2,200 of those are Charizard. Just the one Charizard.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Pikachu VMAX, there's 1,000 of them. So you're looking at almost half. The Raikou and the Zacian, there's another 1,000. Zamazenta, there's another 400. Jirachi, 600. There's just, I'm sorry, that was Vivid Voltage. I'm sorry. But of the Shining Fates, there's 4,000. There's 3,940 cards graded. 2,200 of those are Charizard VMAX. So of Shining Fates, over 50% of all the 10s in Shining Fates is Charizard. Now, there's demand for Charizard, and it sells very well. But think about how low the pop is on everything else right now. I'm saying,
was PSA shut down after or before Shining Fates came out?
it was definitely in that
shortly
I think it was
period.
before.
And also you got to look at CGC. There could be a ton of CGC, and I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
But let's say there wasn't CGC. I keep going back to this Lapras, the shiny Lapras, but there's 144. Now, if there wasn't CGC and there really was 144, I would be buying shiny Lapras at $60 or whatever it is at PSA 10, because in my eyes, yeah, there's a lot right now, or there's not a lot right now, and there's a lot of risk to that card just getting graded everywhere. But if, like, in 10 years, if there's 1,000 shiny Laprases and 950 of them are stored away, I'm thinking there's going to be somebody out there, even if there's 50 of them on the market at any given time. I'm thinking somebody's going to want to go pick up shiny Lapras VMAX. I think that's how you got to think about it. So it's all population reports. Yeah, there's a lot of 1,000. Luka Doncic, his card was holding $1,000, even though there were 17,000 PSA 10s. 17,000 PSA 10s. That's like what, 3.5, 4 times more than any PSA 10 Charizard out there, even these modern PSA 10 Charizards. And he was still holding $1,000 because that many people wanted them. You know, if you've got 16,900 of them squirreled away, and there's that many people that are willing to pay $1,000 plus for the 100 that are on the market, then it's a $1,000 card. So you got to look at the card. You know, I like Gyarados, Lapras. there's a lot of cool Pokemon out there, and if they're getting looked over right now, that's going to be something you want to look at. Because at 144, I would be betting if that's all there was. I don't know the CGC pops yet, but if that's all there was, yeah, I'd be putting my money on Shiny Lapras, even though I know there's still a lot of minty ones and it's still in print. Just kind of like how you got to think about it. It isn't a science. You got to kind of eyeball it.
All right, so someone was asking, what do we think about black label investing? Really just depends on the card you're talking about for black label investing, honestly. If we're talking like any WotC black label holographic card, yeah, you're probably doing just fine. But if we're talking like comments, yeah, that's another conversation. Or even modern black labels, I'd almost argue, until it's out of rotation or completely out of print, I wouldn't see much opportunity there.
Yeah, I would agree. Just depends on the card. If it's some stupid modern non-holo card, there's really no point to it. But if it's an actual like a Charizard, Blastoise, something like that, I would say there's some merit to it. I personally don't like the whole idea of the black label having so much of a premium. But then again, I collect PSA 9s because I can't justify the PSA 10 price either.
I mean, at that point, if you got a PSA 9, just go for the PSA 8. What is that, like just a white dot on the corner? I've done that sometimes. All right, so this one will be a good one. Do we think Hidden Fates will be reprinted yet again? I mean, I believe it's out of rotation this month, if I'm correct.
I don't think so.
Because, yeah, that's been a big question. If you guys have noticed, everyone is kind of keeping their eye on Hidden Fates. It's been kind of trending upwards recently. I think it's now up to 140, 150 from the lows of 110, 120 now. And it's going up like clockwork right now. And I think people are finally over the fact that they reprinted stuff. Because it seemed to me almost as though they were traumatized by that. And that Hidden Fates Elite Trainer Box reprint came out of left field.
Well, the ETB reprint was really surprising. I didn't think that would happen.
Yeah, I mean, but if you're going to reprint anything other than the tins, I guess ETBs would be the next step. But yeah, I've always said that ETBs just have so much extra crap that goes in them. I'm surprised that we get them at all anymore. It's weird to have sleeves.
Especially after seeing your video. You guys should check that one out. Mason made a video showing the assembly process of the Elite Trainer boxes inside of the factory.
Oh yeah. It's out there. I think it almost hit 100,000 views.
Oh wow, nice.
Kind of a just no big deal. But yeah.
Celebrity here.
What was the question one more time? I don't
know. Do we think Hidden Fates will be reprinted again?
No.
Okay, there we go.
Why? Why would it be?
Yeah, I don't think so either. It just doesn't.
It could be.
We have so much crap that needs to be reprinted, and that's, of course, that was the argument the last time.
Yeah.
But, no, I think we moved on. I think we're ready to move on.
To be fair, with all the other Hidden Fates reprints, I think the Elite Trainer Box one and the tin were scheduled before Logan Paul completely messed up Modern. Because prior to Vivid Voltage, everything was fine. Darkness Ablaze, I was surprised to hear that Swammey got his order canceled, because I could buy it all day long, get the $100 mark after it came out, 100, maybe 110 on the high end, and I got the $500 case. Yeah, and I paid the $500 case for it. So that I get why that got reprinted. But now it's, what have we got? Sword and Shield base is out of control. What is that, 250, I think?
God.
You could kind of argue Rebel trash at 160, but like Mason pointed out, I think in one of his previous videos, it didn't sell all that well by comparison to the set surrounding it.
No, and remember, when Rebel Clash came out, Pokemon did a very unique product where they bundled a booster pack of Rebel Clash
Oh yeah.
with the base set Sword and Shield because they had so much Sword and Shield. They're like, we got to move these, and they just like gave like a buy one get one free for booster packs with these 2-pack blisters when Rebel Clash
I
came out.
remember
It was
They
that.
did the
Yeah, I
same
forgot
thing
about
for
that.
Darkness Ablaze, right?
And it's like if only we could have these go back in time and have these because their packs are so expensive and ridiculous. Yeah, it's kind of weird how weird things were just a year and a half ago. It's kind of crazy.
Well, they're still doing Sun and Moon packs in the first partner packs.
Burning.
Yep.
No, not Burning. Guardians Rising. I think I saw. I don't know if my mic is on right now, but
No, yeah, you're good.
yeah, I mean, it's tough. Modern is tough.
We're playing with fire in Modern.
I know. I think you're gonna know. I don't think the market's gonna go anywhere for like 2 years. So why don't you just look in 2 years?
Yeah, it's just
The only booster box I have right now is Battle Styles. Just saying, just throwing it out there.
I know, but you don't think that the stocks are gonna be made available?
God, I hope so.
I think
That just means I
they're
sell more of
going
it.
to. I think they see dollar signs, and I think they start printing money. I don't know why they wouldn't.
No, yeah,
It's
why?
also great for the players, right? Print money, great for the players.
I don't know when the next roundtable with Frosted Caribou, we'll talk to her and ask her what she thinks about.
Bye
No?
bye,
No?
guys. See you in 2 years.
No? Okay.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
No, I was. You talked about players, and I said something about Frosted Caribou.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's nurturing the hobby, right? She kind of goes back
Absolutely, yeah. She's helping a lot of people
to yeah.
get into the game and enjoy the game, and there's nothing wrong with that. That was an awkward pause. I was just.
What is the next question?
Yeah, is there anything else in the chat we wanna hit on, or I don't know.
I like prices overall. I will say that. Kind of like how everything's starting to chill out.
No, yeah, I don't like booster boxes being $180. Nobody likes that.
mm-mm.
I don't like not having product on my shelf and having this crap in waves. I don't like that. I would much rather just be able to call up my distributor at any time and be able to get whatever I wanted. That's good for everybody. So yeah, it's things are getting better, but yeah, we're still a far way off from how it used to be, for sure.
It's making me a great investor, though. There's some of the stuff I used to just open, but now I look at it and go, that is so financially irresponsible. You need to sell that as is. You know what I mean? Like, I have lost a lot of. I have been opening up so much cheap stuff. I haven't hardly opened up any Pokemon at all, which is maybe why I said I liked Blue Sky Stream so much, because I only opened up a couple boxes of Blue Sky Stream and Battle Styles.
Maybe.
All right, so this will be the last question, then we'll head over to Mason's question. This one's specifically for you anyway. Do you think there are too many celebration products, Mason? The guy that, and this is from the guy that bought your PSA 10s.
Is there too many celebration products? I wish that they put some of the promos not in their own specialty boxes, but in the special packs. Like the Dragon Bolt Prime didn't need its own box. The Zacian Level V didn't need its own box. All those things are awesome products. Even like the Dark Sylveon didn't need its own box. I think it's silly that those got things over. Like, I don't know, you made like a coin that had Flying Pikachu and Surfing Pikachu on it, but then you threw it in a box with Zacian Level X on it. When you had the full art things coming down, that didn't make sense to me. But I do like the figure. I like the figure boxes. I think those are cool. The lunch box is like whatever, and then the ultra premium is just Well, nobody's going to have those, so it doesn't matter. It's just don't even worry about them. You won't see them anyways. Not at MSRP, so yeah. I'm only getting like 44 of those giant boxes. And I think they're selling for like $300 right now, or like $250 to $300, and that's just crazy. And based on the allocation numbers, they are going to be stupid hard to find. So maybe it's worth it. I don't know, but yeah, it's we'll see what we don't even have the finalized product of the ultra premium collection, because the cutout should have all the gold cards in it, and we don't have that art or that graphic yet. So that's interesting. Is there too many? For something like this set, probably not. I mean, they're probably, the more products there are, the more they sell. And if people see this as a collector's item, the more things they have to collect if they're going to have the full set. So from a Pokemon standpoint, no, it's probably not too many. But I think unless you want one of the promo boxes or the singles out of the promos, or you want to keep it sealed for whatever reason, maybe you're a big fan of Dragapult like me, and you just want the level X just to have it. That's cool if you want that sealed product. But I think most people will be happy with just buying the ETBs and getting the special packs out of those, and it'll be fine. It'll be all good. But yeah, there's probably not too many from Pokemon's point of view. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, we can just leave since we're already talking about celebrations. Let's talk about what I was going to ask you guys for my question tonight, which is I was talking about earlier about the old guard of Pokemon back in the vintage collecting and grading sphere, and then the modern ADD, pretty shiny waifus worlds kind of combining together. And it seems like Celebrations is going to do a good job of mixing the new and the old together with the reprints alleged reprints, which are pretty much guaranteed. But obviously Pokemon is really hitting on nostalgia, bringing up these old classic cards. And I was just wondering what you guys' take was on whether or not having these like throwback cards dilutes the maybe older cards, the original cards, like the Shining Magikarp, for example. If the Shining Magikarp comes out and the shiny and hollow effect is better and is more eye appealing than the vintage Shining Magikarp, does that damage the old version of that card, and does it get almost replaced with this new one because of how nice and pretty it's going to be compared to the older one? Same thing with like the full arts of the Surfing and Flying Pikachu. Will people want to go back and get the older ones because these ones are new and pretty and shiny? Why wouldn't I want these instead? So does Celebrations hurt older singles and the prices of and collectability of older singles, or is this just a good nostalgia trip for everybody and really just allows everybody to appreciate the just like where Pokemon has been and kind of like the big awesome mechanics and cool art that Pokemon has put out in the past 25 years? Yeah, if anybody wants to take off from there.
All right, so that is a tricky one. So one factor that I need to address before I even give my answer is this is the first time Modern has been in a position where it genuinely competes with vintage. Not just in prices, like some cards do and they shouldn't, but what I mean is art-wise. This is the first time where I talk to people and they genuinely have to consider the idea of, would I rather have a Neo Discovery Umbreon or a Skyridge Umbreon over a alternate art VMAX Umbreon? Like, you genuinely have to think about that because it's Neo Discovery is less is more with that design. Skyridge, almost an alternate art style, and then we have the new flashy one, which is genuinely really awesome. It's cool. And that's a big factor we all have to acknowledge, that modern is that strong that we even have to consider and have that conversation at all. So it is entirely possible that they do kind of challenge some of the older cards, but there's one major caveat along with that. We have that ridiculous Pikachu stamp that's just in the middle of that card. Like, oh my god. If it turns out to be like the McDonald's stamp where it wasn't even always where it was supposed to be, did you any of you guys see that? Where it have the yellow outline of the stamp, but then the stamp is like shifted up into the right or up into the left. Or if we have that disgusting holographic that the McDonald's cards had. But if we have something that is a true holo, old school holo, where we have the swirls and the really gorgeous background, then possibly they could very well compete. Especially because as we've now gotten I think it was the jungle or the base set Pikachu full art, like the alternate art they did. If they do that for the base set trio, or oh my god, I just thought about it. What if they did something like that for like the Shining Magikarp? I genuinely would have to consider that, and I could almost see it competing with the old one. But as SM Pratt has said it before, if for whatever reason the prices get really close, why would you then decide to go for the newer one over the original, which has greater history following it? I think it'll boil down to, I know this is a bit of a rant now. It'll boil down to, one, how good is that holo? Two, on some of these cards, how is the stamp going to blend in? Because if we're talking about a Pikachu card, I can see it blending in if it's yellow or it has a background that works with it. But if we have like this really dark background, the full art is dark, and then we have that giant yellow and red stamp on it, I could definitely see people getting turned off by that. So that's all I've got for now. I'll pass it off now to Swammey.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped for it. I think it looks great. Nobody was ready for that, right? I mean, I heard Neo a lot. I personally thought it was going to be a Evolutions, but Neo. And they went bigger than, I mean, they went across the whole hobby. I think it's amazing. I love the Dragapult. The stamp sucks, but it's fun, right? I mean, you'll be able to pull Charizard. You'll be able to pull Blastoise. I never pulled a Blastoise in my life. Not a base set artwork. And it'll be the same. I pulled the Charizard on my first booster box. Didn't open any up. Did not ever open up more evolutions than that. But you're out of your mind if you think I'm not going to pull a Blastoise. I also got to pull a Venusaur. I'd love to pull a Shining Magikarp. I don't think it takes away from like Charizard. I don't think Charizard's going to take away from base set unlimited or first edition. I'm curious to see if it does affect the evolutions Charizard. Just depending, it all kind of depends on that holofoil pattern. If it's the McDonald's holofoil pattern, I probably won't be as excited. I'd rather have an evolutions type deal. It just all depends on how these things come out. That stamp is no good. I think the 25th stamp does look really good on the Japanese version. It is kind of cool, like the base starters, the non-holo, those jumbo. I think they came out with like the jumbos. Those look cool. I think it affects more modern than anything else, and I think it can give people that are unaware of some of these older sets, especially that middle era, awareness and get them in. I think it only helps the majority of vintage, and it could hurt modern, like Evolution's Charizard. Other than that, no, I think it's awesome. I think it's really cool. And I think like collecting Shining Mew is you're gonna want to go after Shining Legends, let's say, because this Mew is in here. So yeah, I think the Charizard it is a little bit curious, or the flying and surfing Pikachu that's in Evolutions. Yeah, clearly there's demand for that card, and at pop 68 or whatever, it wasn't enough to meet demand, and that card went to almost 200. But I don't know. I could also see people wanting to get like the original Flying Pikachu and get them all through this full art, but a lot of people aren't that way, and they could it could hurt the price. I'm really interested to see what happens. I think I'm pretty pumped for it though, and I wouldn't mind if they pulled an Evolutions type deal and they had this on print for years. Uh, Hidden Fates, Hidden Fates to me, I know we were talking earlier about like Hidden Fates not being reprinted. I could totally see them reprinting Hidden Fates. It was I believe it was out of rotation by the time it came to English anyway, wasn't it? Like something like that. Like it had been a lot of the cards that came in it were out of rotation or something. It's one of those sets where it's a collector's set anyway. So who knows, man. But I'm excited for the 25th anniversary. I really am. I think it's going to be awesome. I think it helps vintage because I learn about cards all the time. Brand new cards. I've been, a lot of us have, maybe not Nick. Nick probably doesn't learn any new cards, but let's go to Nick. Give it up to Nick.
I'm definitely constantly learning about modern cards. WotC cards not so much, but for modern cards definitely. I don't know. I'm still new with modern. But anyway, talking about the 25th anniversary set, I am super excited for it. I'm really looking forward to the Pikachu figure. I'm so excited for that. I just like Pikachu, so I'm really excited for the giant Pikachu statue or figure. Hopefully, it's better than the Hidden Fates Rayquaza premium collection box where the Rayquaza figure was easily broken. I feel like Pikachu's less easy to break. But anyway, getting into the set, I'd agree with you guys. The stamp, the 25th anniversary Pikachu stamp on all the cards. Really not a big fan of that. I don't mind the stamp on the jumbo cards, all the starters that they're doing. I think it adds something where those cards are so much bigger. But on the standard size TCG cards, I'm really not a big fan of the stamp myself. But it is what it is there. And I was really blown away by the whole what this 25th anniversary set is going to entail. I, like with most people, I was assuming that it was going to be a Neo reprint. I think that was kind of what everyone was talking about. Some people were talking Jungle and Fossil. A lot of people were talking Neo. I completely agreed with that and was absolutely blown away when it was kind of going to be a collaboration, if you will, of pretty much all the Pokemon sets that we've seen so far, which to me is so much better than just doing a Evolutions 2.0 kind of thing. But in terms of Mason's actual question, which was dealing with, will these cards affect pricing on the Wizard of the Coast cards, or will it or will people be able to kind of collect modern and WotC? I'm primarily a Wizard of the Coast era collector myself. I don't do too much with modern, but even me personally, mainly doing WotC, I am super excited for this new set. I think it was a great idea on Pokemon's part to kind of combine even like vintage collectors with modern collectors. I think that was a really good combination that they did, because people don't just collect WotC cards. There are people who collect modern cards. So people don't just want to see that Neo reprint. They want to kind of see a kind of like the history of Pokemon in one set, which I think is awesome. But yeah, in terms of affecting pricing with WotC cards, I can't see it happening. Just because using the shining Magikarp example that BulbaSquad brought up, I would agree with what he said, where even if the artwork is a lot better than the Wizards of the Coast era Shining Magikarp, which I don't know if it could be because I absolutely love that card. But even if it is better, I think the original Neo Rev Shining Magikarp just has that going for it, that it is the original Shining Magikarp. And if, like BulbaSquad was saying, if pricing between this reprinted card does start to coincide with the pricing of the original card, why wouldn't you just go for the original card versus the modern card? That's my personal opinion. I think vintage is the. I don't think modern reprints can affect pricing of these vintage cards. Similar to what we saw with Evolutions with the Charizard card, that really didn't have much of an effect on the unlimited base set Charizard because it is that original card. I do think, if anything, it's interesting because I do think, if anything, it could bring the celebration set could bring awareness to the Wizards of the Coast era, where kids nowadays who are opening these cards will eventually become older, get a real job, remember that they enjoyed opening celebrations, and kind of research into where, kind of like the history of where these cards came from. And it could add more interest into the Wizard of the Coast era, which I had never thought about until you guys were talking, and that just kind of popped into my mind. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. But overall, I don't think the reprint will affect Wizards of the Coast era pricing, just because I almost think it's like WotC is, I don't want to say fail proof, but I think they have enough of a foundation where I don't think there's much that can affect pricing for the original cards. So that's what I would say. Just super excited for that set though. I cannot wait to open a whole bunch. But that's what I have.
All right, so I actually want to ask a spicy question. How low or high do you think celebrations will go? High being if you don't think it'll decline over the medium to long term, which would be like in a year or so. Because I think it's going to go low.
I think it depends. I think it's going to depend on how much. I think we're just going to have to wait and see how much product actually comes out and actually hits the market. I think it's too early, but I can see in the long term celebrations doing well.
Oh yeah, certainly. I'm thinking it could very well follow the path of generations, and I don't think it's too far-fetched to think that the celebrations half packs could go all the way down to $1 once the market becomes oversaturated and they make too much. Just because I'm viewing the baseline as $2.50 because the average specialty set pack is $5, and this is just that pack divided in two, so $2.50.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of those packs in products. I think they're saying like you get like 5, 6, 7 of them. I think there's like up to 11 in the ultra premium box, or maybe even be more than that. I don't
From
remember.
what I've seen, they pretty much even though they have the size of the packs, they doubled the number of packs in every product, and then supplemented it.
Right. So if we only have 25 from the collection set that's going to be in there, that's tons of these cards running around, flying around everywhere, and they're going to be dirt cheap if you want the whole set. Unless they scale the rarity, which they could do, but we'll see. I don't know.
All right, back to the population report. Charizard Hollow evolutions. There's 8,262 evolutions Charizards, right? What I think happens with Pokemon, I think we keep adding people in, All right, what happened this year? We added a ton of people. Everyone went after base on unlimited Charizard, blew the price up. Oh, hey, we can go after Evolutions Charizard. We can still get Charizard at a decent price. I don't have to pay $1,200, $2,000 for a, or even more for a 10 unlimited Charizard. I can go get this Evolutions Charizard. So yeah, even though and the pop was growing throughout the year, it was not 8,200 when the prices exploded. But hey, let's all go buy Charizard Evolutions instead because we can't afford unlimited 9 Charizard. It was crazy what was going on with that card. It ramped up to like $1,200. It was just, it went higher than that even too for a 9. But okay, think about 10 years from now. I think in general, this is how I think of Pokemon. I think you add more people, right? And as I think people our age, we stick with it. A lot of people will stick with it. A lot of people will leave, sure. But that's kind of any hobby. It's been that way in Pokemon since the beginning. But as we move forward, more people that get spending power coming out of school, I think they keep on coming in. I do. And if you're adding more people and you're increasing demand, that's a good thing, right? This Charizard would be worth nothing if there were 100,000 PSA 9 Evolutions Charizards, because I think everybody would have one. And why would you need to pay an exorbitant price for a 25th Charizard if you've got the Evolutions Charizard? Just stick with me here. But the thing is, like, a lot of those Charizards, they get stowed away. They're not always on the market. Just because there's 9,000 doesn't mean they're on the market. Which is why it was kind of so scary, because a lot of people were grading the Charizards to sell them. They weren't grading them to just squirrel away and collect. And eventually they are going to make it into collectors' hands that aren't going to sell them. So that it all kind of plays out. But
can I throw something at you, Swami?
Go ahead.
Just to get your opinion, because I'm interested. Okay, let's say they do put a reprint of the Charizard in the 25 slots for the celebrations, and it becomes a dime a dozen. What do you think that does to anything?
I would buy $100 worth.
Okay.
Right?
I
mean,
yeah.
Pokegal, holy cow. I mean, she was paying like 50 cents a Charizard Hollow.
Yeah.
Right? And right now the 9s, a very modern card, it grades well. The 9s are still selling for what, 150 or something?
Yeah.
I mean, if she could send 100 in, pay, whatever it is wherever she goes, and sell them and make $130 each Charizard. I mean, if it's 50 cents a card, yeah, I'm going to buy some. But I'm not sure that's answering the question. What is that? Is that what you're looking at? Is that what you're asking?
No, I was asking because apparently the leaks show that the base set Charizard, I think all the big three, is going to be in the 25th anniversary set with the stamp on it. Is that card enough to where it affects maybe the Evolution Charizard price? I mean, why would you buy a what is it, $50 to $60 Charizard when I can have this one for $2? Does that satisfy people enough? Does it? Because it's a reprint of a reprint at that point.
Except for the PSA 10.
So like what? Well, of course, yeah.
Except for that PSA 10 where there's only 268. Other than that, because that is exclusive, that is a really hard chase. Yeah. It's impossible to get. Other than that, yeah. Why would you pay $150 for a PSA 9 Evolutions Charizard? It's crazy.
Right. No, yeah, makes sense.
But the full art, now that's something completely different. If it's a full art Charizard celebrations, that's amazing. That blows Evolutions Charizard out of the water, in my opinion. If you have the base set Charizard with a full art like it finishes the card out with the card art all around it, that'd be cool.
I
Okay,
can
yeah.
also see people both wanting both of them, both the Evo and the Celebrations Charizard, just because collect them all. It does have that slight difference there. I can definitely see, even though say Celebrations is a lot cheaper than Evo, I can still see people buying Celebrations and Evo. Look at the whatever you want to call them, 1999, 2000 base set. The only difference there is a little tiny copyright date, and people still go crazy over it compared to the unlimited base set.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing with Evo is the amount of nines, but there's going to be way more for this generation. So, and God forbid there's a print line in this set.
Yeah.
Friggin' print line, man.
No, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It's just that kind of stuff is always what I think about, and whether it's a positive or a negative for the cards in the past. I mean,
Yeah,
does it bring things to light to be like, oh wow, there's an older version of this? Let me go see what that's about. Or if it's just like, yeah, I know that exists and I'll never be able to own it, so I'm just gonna have this one. I don't know. It's
if the 30th, if there's a Charizard base in the 30th anniversary set,
yeah,
then it does it becomes a thing, you know, where it's like
Yeah.
you want that celebration, that milestone Charizard, and you just want to collect them all, you know. I can see Nick's point. It's just they're not done. Go
I
ahead.
know they kind of have to do the Charizard in the Celebrations, but I'm personally getting sick of all these sets with Charizard in them. I want to showcase some different cards here.
I could believe I was so upset when they didn't give us Blastoise and Venusaur.
Yeah.
In Evolutions, I didn't look up any of the cards. I wanted it to be a surprise, and I pulled a Charizard in my first box, and then I went and looked up the set list, and I was so upset that they didn't give us Blastoise.
Yep.
It's dirty.
No, yeah. I'll tell you what though, kids still love to pull a Charizard. It doesn't matter.
Oh, I can
how many
believe
times
it.
it's been reprinted. When kids pull a Charizard, it could be a 1 in 25 shot to pull it out of these 5 cards are in this pack. And they still get super pumped when they pull a Charizard. So that is why they keep reprinting a Charizard. Pokemon doesn't care how many times they have to reprint it. So long as people are enjoying it and having fun and they want to go out and pull some more,
Yep.
that's the goal. That's what it's all about. So
yeah, exactly.
So that's the idea with that. Yeah. Knowledge says adults still love pulling Charizard as well. So
absolutely.
I loved it. I loved pulling Zapdos.
Yeah.
I loved pulling Gyarados. I was
Yeah.
like, what? You know, yeah. It's gonna be fun.
Definitely.
Hopefully we can get you on the channel sometime, Knowledge. And I did want to ask you guys, just a fun collecting question. What card would you want to get a full art inside of Celebrations, in celebration of the anniversary?
Light Jolteon.
Light Jolteon?
Yeah.
Oh, that would look
Yeah,
good.
buddy.
Yeah. Okay.
With that midnight sky. Oh God.
There we go.
I like it. I still love. I mean, my favorite old era card is still a Light Arcanine. I love that card.
Right.
That and
that's
like
a good
a borderless or frameless art would be phenomenal.
I'm a normie. I just want like some form of full art Magikarp. It doesn't even have to be shiny, man. Just give me a full art Magikarp, just alternate art.
Okay.
Maybe even I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched Pokemon Adventures, one of the newest series. They had a super buff Magikarp in that, like something silly. Let me enjoy him.
I would say a full art of no damage Ninetales. No.
Okay.
No damage Ninetales. Oh my God. That's hilarious.
No, my real answer would be Shining Gyarados, just because that's by far my favorite artwork from Neo Rev.
It feels like Gyarados just hasn't gotten very much love recently. Like, they just completely skipped him over in the Evolving Skies set. I don't know why they decided not to go with the alternate art. Last time, I guess Crimson Invasion with the Rainbow Rare, and before that, it would have been Breakpoint, which was the best set ever because of Gyarados.
Dude, Collectacon was a blast.
That
Look at
was
that old school
that's a good
Pokemon
sticker.
sticker.
I like that.
Yo,
How sick is that, man? Cool, huh?
that's hot.
Got that MetaZoo? That's all I got. Oh, and yeah, Lapras Delivery.
Oh, nice.
Collectacon was a good time. I'd suggest anybody to go if they can. But yeah, that Magikarp just made me think. I think Bo Danger's made this one. She actually drew this herself. I love the derpy eyes.
All right, so I'm going to ask one of the probably most basic questions that everyone in the audience usually wants to ask. What set do you guys think what set do you think has the most potential right now for the future? Just personal opinion. You don't have to be investing into it right now. You could even just be potentially just looking at it out of curiosity.
For me,
I actually create some rules.
Right.
It can't be like holiday set Japanese, like CP6 or Tag Team All Stars. Yeah.
I actually just bought a whole bunch of Hidden Fate ETBs off of Troll and Toad. They were selling them for $135, and then if you use TCA5 during your checkout, you can get 5% off.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I just bought a whole bunch of Hidden Fates ETBs, around 130-ish a piece, just because I think that's one of the best modern sets or semi-modern sets. And I think that one has a lot of potential. And then I also just recently bought a whole bunch of not so much a set, but it's I consider it kind of a mini set. Is the Amazing Rares. I think those have potential too.
Getting some pretty interesting answers. A lot of people are banking in Cosmic, which I'm not really surprised by.
That's an interesting one.
It's a no-brainer.
Cosmic is
one of the best sets.
It's like Chilling Reign, but done right. It has an identity, okay? Chilling Reign is just, you understand they're all from the Crown Tundra, that DLC, but you don't really connect the dots with a lot of these Pokemon, and let's be honest, no one really wants that stupid fusion Calyrex Pokemon for the most part. It's just...
Oh, come on.
That's a stupid... Let's be honest, it's a stupid fusion.
What?
He just sat on the horse, okay? Maybe that's just me, but if we look
Shoulder
at
just clamped on a Slowpoke's tail and it turned into Slowbro. What? It's all the same. It's not like no precedence for it.
That's fair enough.
I gotta say, Primetime Pokemon. You remember when he quit?
Mm-hmm.
He quit, and he came back, and I cried when he quit. But his birthday is really close to mine. I think it's like a week before mine in July. And he pulled the full art Charizard and Braixen GX, and it was like a month after he came back from quitting. It was for his birthday, and he pulled the and he screamed. Like, he was like, yeah! And he never reacts to Pokemon cards. Like, he's always so mellow. And that made me cry. Because he came back, it was his birthday, and out of all the cards, he pulled the one he wanted. And he actually, like, you knew he wanted it because he made a noise. I didn't know he could make noises. Yeah, Cosmic Eclipse. The only thing is, like, what do you guys think about how big these sets are? Right? Like, you can buy Dream Mix Bout and hammer one of these down. Like, the pull rates of Japanese boxes, you don't have the as large as Cosmic Eclipse. I mean, Cosmic Eclipse, these are rows of 6, so there's 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 52, 53, and then you have, so there's 53 secret rares, I believe. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 9 gold cards. What do you think about that? Because that's a little nuts.
Absurd.
It's a $400 box. You're going to get one of these. $400 box.
I wish they would make modern sets smaller.
Yeah.
I really like Japanese.
I would almost not complain if they just straight ripped it from Japan.
I mean, it's. I'm not saying investability wise or anything. I'm just saying it's a much more enjoyable experience to know, hey, I got a really good shot at getting, because Cosmic Eclipse is loaded, right? But if you're paying 400 or whatever, I don't even know how much Cosmic Eclipse is going for anymore, but it's like a very expensive box to pull. I mean, you could pull, I know it's pretty great all over, but Guzzlord GX, that would kind of suck. Or you know what I mean? Or a Alolan Persian GX, like, ouch. You know, for that, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
That actually leads into another question I wanted to ask you guys.
I didn't get to answer the last one.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry. I didn't even realize that was a question. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell.
Delta Species cards are criminally underrated. I think they're awesome. And for Modern, I think all tag teams are still very underrated. Tag teams, when I was a kid, the dream was to have multiple Pokemon on a card. Or like to team up together and like fight together. Tag teams are that. And they look awesome. And they're still, some of them are still relatively cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Tag teams are going to do
Latias.
extremely well. They're so unique, and they're so like every 12-year-old's fantasy that they're going to do fantastic as a collector's item. Okay, you can go ahead.
So what I was going to ask, which you're right, that definitely is just like a fantasy, almost like a Smash Bros. But back to what I was saying. Do you guys think the sheer size of these secret rare vaults and full art vaults is going to offset the massive supply that these modern sets are getting? What I mean is, if I go and look at Chilling Rain, the newest one, we got 6, 12, 18. We got 23 rainbow rares in this set. And that correlates to 46 booster boxes you got to open just about. If everything is perfect, you never pull a duplicate of a rainbow rare or a full art.
Good luck.
Like,
That's $4,600.
Yeah. So
For the worst art.
So it's $5,000 you can buy a car.
So that I always choose like the ideal scenario because I can't account for it. But 46 booster boxes to create the master set. Do you think that's enough to offset the sheer supply that these boxes are going to be getting, or sets are getting?
No, they just need to get rid of rainbow rares. Just get rid of them. Like, what's the point?
Get rid of rainbow rares, yes. It's unnecessary.
These beautiful cards, these full art cards that look amazing. Like, I think some of the art that they're putting out right now is some of the best they've ever made. And especially when you blow it up on a big giant card in a full art, it looks amazing. But then the more rare version of it washes away all the color, adds this ugly shine to it that you can't see the art for. Very few rainbow rares look good, I think, period. From a player standpoint, they're impossible to read. If you play that on the other side of a table from me, I don't even know what that card is. I have to pick up and look at it.
Well, actually,
I don't know what the hell that is.
Since you're pointing that out, Mason, what do you think about those? Do you remember the Hidden Fates? I think it was the Great Ball collection with the gold Lunala and Solgaleo. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do, yeah.
What do you think of those cards? Just
Are you just wanting me to react at this point? Are you just
because no, you were just poking fun and shitting on the rainbow rares. So what did you think of the gold cards?
I'm less upset at the gold cards.
Oh, really?
But they are still impossible to read. You don't know what I mean. I don't know what every card says, and I am relatively familiar with the game. I don't know what the heck. If you slap a card down across the table and it's just a silver shine, I don't know what it says. It's just
that might be the strategy.
It's totally unintuitive to the playing the game, which is supposed to be a huge proponent of Pokemon that they push all the time. So why would you make something harder to read? Doesn't make any sense.
Right, so yeah, kind of back to my question. That was just a stupid tangent I decided to go on.
Yeah.
So yeah, will it offset it?
I don't know. There's a lot of Charizards, Rainbow Rare, VMAXs. There's a lot out there, you know. So I think it hurts the box price more than anything, right? Especially now, Cosmic Eclipse. There's so many hitters in that, but just imagine a set as big as Cosmic Eclipse, as crummy as Champion's Path.
Damn.
Imagine a set as big as Cosmic Eclipse with 60 plus, secret rares, but there's only 2 cards that you want. That would be the lowest cost box ever. And that's kind of what happened with Burning Shadows, because it was like pull one Charizard in a case or a case and a half or something, and that was the chase. Burning Shadows performed the weakest out of all the sealed boxes because the odds of you pulling the one card that gives that box expected value was extremely low. But so Cosmic Eclipse is a little different. There's so many hitters, but it hurts the box price.
Yeah, they should just replace rainbows and put a shiny version of that same art. It's super low effort. Just change the color of the Pokemon, and boom, you have a higher rarity card. It's just the way to do it.
And I like your thinking.
Yeah.
That way they can still be lazy, because we all know if the Pokemon company can cook corners, they're going to do it.
Yeah, just change the color, and there you go. But yeah, that's the way I wish they, and they did for a long time in the black and white boxes, and some of the Sun and Moon boxes. They put random shiny versions of cards in there. And of course, we get the gold cards now of certain playable good Pokemon. So, but just make them shiny. That'd be cool. Way cooler.
They're doing a pretty good job with promos. Outside of the sets,
definitely.
I mean,
Definitely.
Special delivery, people love that. Special delivery Pikachu.
Are we ever going to see a Charizard?
I think they came out with a Charizard Bidoof on Bidoof Day, right? Or is that a joke?
They did do that. I mean the original special delivery Charizard. Are we ever going to see
Pikachu?
that?
I bet. Come on. But that's a great promo. I mean,
it is.
I don't know why they wouldn't give it to us.
I don't know. They just got to figure out a way to actually give it out without crashing the website in 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, is that there's just not a way to distribute it where it wouldn't be just people trying to exploit it.
Yeah.
It would be impossible. Like I cannot think of a way to give it away unless it was like random. But even then, you just submit 1,000 carts and you'll get a couple, sure. But I don't know. It's just.
I think they got to do it without telling anyone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just in random orders.
They exist.
Obviously,
there are a few of them out there.
There are. Imagine they never come out with this. That would be an insanely valuable Charizard. Charizard and Pikachu on the same card, and there's only like 4. I'm sure there'd be thousands that get pumped out somewhere, but yeah, it exists.
There was one on Macari that sold for 2,000, and then there was one on eBay auction that sold for like 4,000.
Yeah. I mean, if they never come out with it.
That's pretty cheap. That's not bad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ooh, the Japan Post.
I'm
You guys ready
excited
for
that.
those?
Oh, I cannot wait for that.
I don't know how I'm gonna get my hands on it, but I'm gonna try.
Oh yeah, they'll be tough there.
It'll be interesting to see what price that ends up settling at. Because 60,000 or no 80,000 copies now is quite a few.
Didn't they up it to like 120?
It might be 120 again.
they upped it again.
I'm behind on it. But if we're talking that many, oh man, I would love if this was comparable to the price the Munch promos used to be.
Yeah.
It's very possible. It's absolutely
Munch
possible
promos,
because
man.
when we really think about it, a lot of people are. Japan has realized that the Westerners buy anything and everything. They're going to turn around and they're going to try to sell it to us. But 120,000.
Doesn't have to be in English. Doesn't have to be.
Yeah. So let's say 120,000, even 60,000, make it overseas, like to us that they want to sell. That's going to be like 60,000 almost gem mint copies because anyone who's looking at it right now either wants to A, flip it, or B, grade it to flip it. Or I guess C, grade it to keep it. So they're all going to be gem mint. So if we all look at these cards and think, oh, 12,000 PSA 10s or 5,000 PSA 10s, whatever, is a ton, what are we going to say to 60,000? I know it's not going to be 60,000, but even 15,000 PSA 10s. Jesus. I'm hoping to be able to buy a ton of them. Are you going to get any for your store, Mason?
No, yeah, I mean, it's so restrictive that there's no way to get them. I mean, obviously there's ways to get them, but
the ways I found are too expensive.
Yeah, I'd be getting the same way that anybody could. So, yeah, it'd be kind of hard to make money.
But they're crushing it.
Oh,
that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fantastic promo, which is cool to see. That's exciting. I'm excited about it. I'll be chasing it.
It's better than the stupid sketch Pikachu. Whatever that thing was.
Wow.
I did not. I was not impressed by that. I'm sorry. Like I'm not like an abstract high school class, abstract art.
A minimalist sketch.
Swammy.
It's not
how can you say that after you love the Zorua Illustrator contest cards?
Two completely different things. That kid took crayon to paper. All right, that was a whole scene. He had the night sky. He had Lugia. This thing is one
what about
little
the kindergarten
pen. Oh man, I like the fourth grader and the Ichiban winner. Those are my favorite.
And I'm absolutely going to pick up as many of those Nagaba Pikachus as I can if they drop further in price. I have a special place in my heart for stupid cards.
Oh man, I almost told you to go to a different TCG, but I'm not going to name which.
Wow. Why not? What's the harm? What harm could you do that they haven't done to themselves?
Oh man,
what was that card called again? The Dingle Dingus?
Oh,
Dinged Up Dingleberry.
Dingle.
Dinged Up Dingleberry.
These schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Hey Mason, you should take a damaged MetaZoo box if you ever get one.
Put
it on display and then put that promo card above it.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy a acrylic case for my MetaZoo boxes.
That way, when you go to ship it, it'll be in good condition.
Yeah,
there we go.
It'll keep the unique shape of it that it's already in.
Oh man.
Anyways, that's all I got. What do you guys got? Anything else?
Any questions from the audience? The audience has been surprisingly quiet on questions recently. Granted, I haven't asked, so that's also on me.
Stefan, I don't have a problem with MetaZoo. I'm just joking.
MetaZoo's just like the low-hanging fruit. It's easy to make fun of right now.
Yeah.
Come on. What could any of us have ever said that's worse than what they did to themselves? Like,
can I open a pack?
Do you have one?
I want to open. No MetaZoo.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
Let's see here.
What do you got?
I got Spider-Man,
Okay.
Todd McFarlane. You guys know Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn.
Mm-hmm.
I could do some Weiss. I got
I'm sure we got plenty of simps for the waifus in here.
I think there
I know
actually
Mason's
might be
one
a
of them.
Mary Jane in here.
For what? Waifus?
I'm actually kind of pumped about this. So there's these prism cards in here that you can chase, and they are like holofoil prism pattern.
All right. Well, while Swammey
guys go ahead
is
and
setting
talk.
up on that, we can answer some questions. Someone's asking thoughts on the value of level X cards as the new games approach. Oh yeah, we'll be talking while Swammy's full screen, so you guys can see him opening up his packs.
There we go. That's a cool one. I don't know. I don't.
There it is.
The level X was such a dead time for Pokemon. That whole mid era of Pokemon. There was nobody interested in Pokemon during that time. So I don't understand this whole hype with the whole Diamond and Pearl, Black and White era. I'm interested to see what'll happen now that we're kind of out of 2020 and prices are going back down. I don't think that whole like mid era Pokemon is gonna do well in the long term. But I could be wrong there. But that's what I think.
Yeah, Mason, you should keep us posted, seeing if you have more inquiries at your your store for level X's whenever those games drop. People-
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is the other than like the
Come on.
popular Pokemon in level X, I just don't see them all rising. The same percentage. You know what I mean? Like,
There's a
There's
lot
probably
of people banking on that magically happening.
well, we say we looked at primes. Look at primes. Is how they exploded. That's just and it was random, and they were primes are extremely common as far
they
as
did. You're right.
those kind of secret stuff goes. But yeah, what is there like a level X electrode? Like, does anybody want a electrode level X?
No,
It's just like I don't see that doing the same thing. Like,
You put
obviously,
that next to
yeah,
your graded Wigglytuff.
yeah, you got your Palkia Dialgas, and you got your, all the, the standard stuff. But yeah, it will not be uniform across the board. What level X's do, obviously.
This is sick.
You got any input, Swami? Or are you focused on your packs?
Yeah, I think they do fine. I think if vintage keeps going up, I think they do fine because affordability, right? It's why the Evolutions Charizard is doing great because you can't afford the base set unlimited, right?
All right, so
And
we
I
got
think the hobby
go ahead.
runs away from a lot of people. I think really on the high end stuff, you're not going to be even seeing a lot of cards. I think like WotC, where there's 900 or there's a couple hundred PSA 10s of first edition. Like right now, you can grab some stuff for $500 to $2,000, and I know that's a lot of money, but you could kiss your opportunities goodbye in 5 years on WotC. I think it doesn't take a lot for the right kind of people to come swooping in and paying 50 grand. If they're paying $1 million for Charizard, which I think happens one day, I could see 50,000 for Flareon PSA 10 first edition. There's only 150 to 300 of those, whatever it is. I mean, not that you want it. I'm just saying, like, when WotC gets to that point, I think the middle years are going to be doing just fine. Now, I'm totally on Nick's side. Like, I've never been huge on like Black and White or Heart Gold, Soul Silver. I mean, yeah, I really did like Delta Species and I don't know. I just think that like you get pushed, and you gotta adapt. Collectors will adapt, and if you get priced out of one thing, you're gonna go to another. But anyway, it's
I just
kind
don't
of
know
super
if level.
serious.
I don't know if level X's would be where they would go to, though. You know, like
Nah,
there's just better options.
I think there are.
Yeah, there definitely are. So we got a very predict the future question here. So, this will be a nice can of worms. I have a question. I bought a $1,399 carton of Eevee Heroes. I'm guessing it's a case. What's the ceiling for something like that? Huh. That'll be fun, trying to unpack that one.
Could you ask that one more time?
Yeah, what was the? Or put it on the chat, or is it possible?
All right, yeah, well, I'll bring it up.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
I bought a $1,400 carton of Eevee Heroes. I'm curious, what's the ceiling for something like that? Like, where do we think it'll cap out?
A carton,
Man,
like a case of 12.
Yeah,
a case.
That's 12.
Okay.
No, it's just repackaged in a milk carton.
Look, maybe.
It's like a
Bringing a whole
sterilite
new
full
meaning
of
to
boxes.
liquidate.
Uh-huh.
Let's call it a case.
I mean, that's cheaper than what boxes are currently, so you're doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think they bought it off of Plaza Japan because Plaza Japan has a number of cases up at that price, just about.
Plaza
Okay.
Japan's the way to go.
Honestly,
Hello, Japan.
let's be realistic. Could we see those boxes double in, let's say, 5 years? 5
Nope.
years, maybe even 10 years. Possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I
you
don't know.
can't see them around.
Swammy's just like
Like,
Swammy's in there.
I would, if you're making a profit right now, I would sell it.
oh yeah,
You'd rather take that now than maybe in 2 years. That you don't think they
I'd take the profit now, and I'd buy it for a cheaper price in 2 years.
the first set that ever has all the evolutions in one box.
I think Eevee Heroes is going to do real good in the long term.
In the long term, right?
Oh yeah,
But if you're making a lot of money on it right now,
I mean, it's not a lot of money.
Like-
It's
like if you're making 20% on $1,400, what is
I don't
that?
think he is.
30,
I think,
320
well,
bucks?
there's only 12 boxes. So what he's getting them for? It's like $100 a box.
yeah, it's like 120, I think.
So that's they're on eBay for 120-ish.
Yeah, I mean,
So I think
it's a pretty bad price. It's a pretty bad price.
I think they're going to.
You know what I mean? I mean, well, I pre-ordered at
I'm
45
sorry,
bucks.
Pokey Dog.
Sorry, yeah, man, it's a tough price to get in at.
No, but I think in the long run you're going to do good there. I
don't see it going down. I mean, do you see it going down, Swami? Is that what you're saying?
I think it will.
Yeah.
With
You think it's going down?
coming.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, depending on how much they
I didn't
reprint
mean
it,
to
because
say it like that.
some
Pokey
people,
Dog.
I believe
My bad.
SM Pratt said either the reprint already occurred or they have another one planned. I'm not sure, okay? If they reprint it heavily, yeah, I could see it dropping, but even if it's a Japan reprint, okay? We're not talking Roaring Skies. We're not talking Battle Styles or any of these other sets. It's Japan. They did a reprint of what was it? Tag All Stars GX, and it didn't really do much in the long run, in the short term either. So I really do, unless if we revert to pre-2020 time, whenever nothing was appreciating in Modern, it took years. If Modern is healthy and people stay in it, I think Eevee Heroes will be just fine. Like Mason said, it's got all the evolutions for
And the
Pete's
box
sake.
itself is so beautiful.
It's gonna come down as soon as the English version comes out. That box sells for $45 typically.
That
I would
love if it did.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be tough to get the English version, but once it does, I mean, that's what happens. That's what happens. Marnie right now is selling for $900 in a PSA 10, but once she comes out in English, you think that holds that price? I don't.
So the counter I'd have to that is Eevee Heroes. I'm just gonna say it. I don't even feel like that's an actual main set. That feels like a specialty set. If they decided to get rid of the Eevee Heroes and put CP7 on that, no one would bat an eye at that because it's such a special pinpoint set and does exactly what it was meant to do. The box art does it. You even pointed out that the specialty box was pretty much like a specialty release that they did. It was fantastic. Even when Evolving Skies drops, Evolving Skies lacks identity. It's one of the weak points we pointed out earlier. Because you got Rayquaza, the god of the sky, Duraludon, the god of skyscrapers, and then you got all the evolutions running around, just randomly in between. Whereas if you go and buy an Eevee Heroes box, which even if the intrinsic value isn't that correlated to the box price, if you open that box up, how are you going to lose? Not in terms of making your money back, but in your pulls. You guys pointed this out with Cosmic Eclipse and Chilling Rain, how you can open it up and you're probably not going to get what you want. You open up an Eevee Heroes box, you want an evolution. What are you going to do? Not pull a card that is an evolution? Every card's an evolution. That's why I'm so bullish on that set.
$150. Do you think it's still $150 when the English comes out? I'm not talking about 10 years from now.
Okay.
I'm not worried about the long term. I'm just saying
Okay.
I think the price is going to do
In the short term,
this, right? I think it's going to go down and then up.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree with you there, because with between the reprint and Evolving Skies, I think we are going to notice it to go down. I'm personally thinking the floor, or I think the floor of Eevee Heroes is going to be around 100, $95 to $100 a box, and that's kind of what I'm waiting for to buy, however many boxes I'm going to buy. But I do think in the long run, I think Eevee Heroes is going to be an awesome set.
I got mine for $90.45. So I did pay more than typical. But that's for the VMAX special set. The special set Eevee Heroes. This doesn't look like a display box. This is where it comes.
That's the one that had the VMAX, the special pack in it.
Yeah, the VMAX special pack in it.
Yeah.
But no, and I didn't mean to say it that way, man. I mean, I'm just,
and then I respun it to be.
If you are prepared to just sit on it, because you're going to see the prices come down. Don't panic. Don't panic.
No, they're even.
And at the end of the day, it's 6 boxes, right? If it comes down from 150 where you got in at to 100, it's $300. Is it the end of the world? I mean, shoot, in 5 years, that's going to be like the cost of bringing your family to a movie theater. I mean, you know,
inflation's a bitch.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not the end of the world. Just hold, baby. Braveheart.
Just hedge against inflation.
Well, I'll be bartering with Eevee Heroes in the future. Then who's laughing, Swammey? And then who's laughing?
Hey, I got a couple boxes on the way.
Okay.
I'll trade you a sleeping Espeon for that burger. Thoughts on if this is the bottom price for Vivid Voltage booster boxes, or might it drop further? I feel like I think it's at 120.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I think it could drop further.
It could if they decide to reprint it. I 100% agree. And we are technically getting a reprint in the form of more packs coming in celebrations.
Well, I don't know about you, Mason, but I can still get once a week. I can get 6 boxes of Vivid Voltage from my distributor.
From who?
Matt Al.
Oh yes. Yeah, Matt Al's great.
Well, how much are you guys are they charging on that one? I've heard Matt Al can be quite pricey at times.
I think they're normal. They're not too bad.
Oh, really?
Maybe a little bit higher than typical, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I think we need to celebrate real quick.
About what? Why?
I started the stream with 499 subscribers, and I have 501 right now.
Yo.
Oh, awesome!
I just hit 17,000 today, so I'm excited.
God, Jesus.
Congrats, Swami. Hopefully there was some conversion from over here.
I think so. I think so. Oh man, 500.
Hey,
Thanks.
halfway there to monetization. That's
Yeah, you'll
Long road.
make a whopping like 25 cents a day.
no, they start rolling in after a while. Don't worry.
It's only going to be another year and a half.
I can attest to the moment I hit 1,000, it just kind of kept snowballing in
Yeah,
speed.
it happens.
Because you actually pop up in the search results.
Yep.
That's the thing. Like I said earlier, I could not find Swami when I was looking
People
for
can
a
actually
murder.
at you. Yeah, it's kind of great.
That's terrible.
Mhm. I mean, hey, you could always just milk celebrations like everyone else.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guilty of that.
Everybody go subscribe to Swami if you haven't. Come on.
Oh
What
yeah,
are you doing?
go
What are you
check
doing?
them out.
What are you doing right now?
No, I watch all your videos, Swami. You've got a great channel. I like all your videos.
Man. Sorry to derail the conversation there, but I'm glad I got to celebrate with people. It's cool.
All right, we got any more questions? It's getting late into the night, and I don't know if you guys want to head out soon or no.
When's the next PWCC block? 3
No
weeks?
clue.
3
4?
weeks, dang.
Is it
I don't know.
so out of it?
I heard Heritage is going to have some good stuff too. I haven't looked yet, but apparently they're going to have some more good stuff.
Why don't more people do live streams during this stuff? Or those kind of things? What?
I don't know. I think
People
that.
don't seem to get together for those. I think that'd be cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
I'm surprised it's not a thing.
I got
Yeah.
together for one. A lot of times in Discord chats, somebody's doing a fantastic job getting all the tabs ready and
No, yeah.
running through.
Yeah, I've seen Radar do that, and it's cool. I just thought a roundtable would be neat.
I'm in.
Like
Oh yeah, we
real-time
could.
analysis of that.
I was definitely hoping to try and do this again with you guys. Maybe, I don't know, like in another month or two. Obviously it's difficult considering we all have a ton of different schedules, and considering it's 3 different time zones.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're 3 different time zones, and that's why it was so hard to get it in the first place. But if possible, it would be fun to do a PWCC block all together. The last one, I was checking for box toppers, and there's barely ever box toppers up, especially the graded ones. I narrowly lost out on a PSA 9 Tyranitar from Skyridge. Very unfortunate.
Well, I usually take a look through all the PWCC auctions. This last one was probably like one of the first times that I just didn't have the time to go through everything and look at it. And I think the steal of the auction was there was a gold strip theme deck display case that went for $2,500.
Oh wow!
I was so bummed when I saw that.
It's just there's so much stuff on PWCC. There's always steals on it, and it's just so hard to figure out what are you can actually be able to steal. All right, so we got another question here. Does anyone agree that the XY era stuff is in shorter supply than we all think? I know Swami's going to have a different opinion on that than us.
The XY era of like what in particular?
I'm guessing they probably mean booster boxes, just the sets themselves. But there's less supply than we all think. Because
Of X
I'm
and
guessing
Y.
they're probably talking in reference to how we all viewed the Roaring Skies, Ancient Origins, Primal Clash, that entire block.
No.
Poké Knowledge Card, yes. Expedition, that's what I meant. I got them confused. I remembered it was an E-Series border.
Yeah. X and Y is kind of a quiet era for Pokemon as well. Not a lot going on other than evolutions. gotta remember Evolutions was X and Y as well, which is
Yeah,
crazy to think about.
I also
But,
know there was some hype around Flashfire.
Flashfire was insane.
I mean, I guess. Yeah.
Flashfire was absolutely off the chain, and I don't even like it that much anymore. But that was a set that kind of the modern set that I kind of got into when I got into the hobby.
Okay.
That reminds me of one of my mistakes. I bought a bunch of. I went to Walmart, and you know those repackaged. It's like one vintage pack and then like a coin in a modern pack.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a bunch of those, and they all had Flashfire in them like last year, and I just didn't think about it. I decided to open it. Looking back, I'm like, that would have been a nice couple bucks. I should have gone for it.
Damn.
Yeah, a couple hundred.
Yeah. I didn't think about it at the time. Oh man, Timmy moves are the best moves to reflect on.
I gotta say, I think Sword and Shield has been doing fantastic, and Celebrations is exciting.
Oh, definitely.
I really do think Sword and Shield. I tried to talk about it earlier, but I think a lot of the sets are really solid.
We try to honestly rag on them and point out what's negative about it, but realistically, we're splitting hairs a lot of the time. That's all we're doing.
I think it's very easily gonna be like something you'd look back on and you're like, oh yeah, that is kind of cool. You know?
Absolutely. I mean, if we really look at the sets, even if you don't like all the Pokemon, let's say for whatever reason they get away from the alternate arts again, which please don't do that. Don't go back to just regular full arts. You would 100% look at Battle Styles and Chilling Reign and want to go back to it in the same way that we look at Cosmic Eclipse and those tag team sets, because they left it, went to Sword and Shield all the way up to Vivid Voltage, and it was just kind of bland until we hit Vivid Voltage. All right, here we got another question. Hey, y'all, I believe that Battle Style sealed product will be the least valuable sealed product in Pokemon. What do y'all think? Okay.
I don't think Battle Styles is as bad as Crimson Invasion. So I think it goes Crimson Invasion and then probably Battle Styles.
Crimson Invasion.
Battle Styles isn't
terrible.
killing card stores like Steam Seed
that
Crimson
is
did.
true.
Well, it can't, technically is, but those card stores just over leverage.
Steam Siege is
250
is expensive for the meme, but the set is dog water.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
There's nothing in Steam
Yes,
Siege.
Remove Swammey. He's gonna go leave for a minute.
At least Fates Collide has Alakazam in it. Steam Siege just has what, Gardevoir?
Yeah. It technically has shinies in it.
Sure does. I remember selling those for like $2 and $3 a piece when Steam Siege was in standard.
Oh man, you made out with a killing. I thought you would have sold it for pennies.
No. But yeah, Battle Styles is fine. It's not great, but when we have such awesome sets around it, yeah, it looks pretty bad. You know.
If you were to throw Battle Styles into the first half of the Sword and Shield or Sun and Moon era, it would be a godly set. If Chilling Reign didn't exist, Battle Styles would actually be competing with Vivid Voltage with that art. That's just how I view it.
Yeah, I mean, it does have unique flavor to it. Like the dojo theme is really cool, and the Battle Style stuff is neat. Yeah,
that could be part of it, like you said, BulbaSquad. How it came after Shining Fates, which was a fun set, and then Chilling Reign was right after it, which was another really good set. So that could be part of the reason why I'm not a big fan of Battle Styles, just because of the sets before and after it. Where if it did come out in the Sun and Moon era or some other time frame, it might have been a better set.
So as a Poke Knowledge, I don't know how you'd be able to answer this, so maybe you can. Mason, as a card store,
yeah, yes.
What do you think of the Marnie lunchbox? I'm seeing people who are freaking out about it, like they just love that thing. Others,
Man.
like right now, someone's asking, "Hey, who's gonna go camp out tomorrow morning for one of the Marnie boxes.
Yeah, I saw that too.
It's almost like a
It's-
mini Elite Trainer box.
It's got a lot of packs in it. The full art is cool. I'm wondering what the logic was for Pokemon. Maybe they knew this lull was here, and they had to fill this spot somehow before.
Maybe they realize there's a lot of simps.
Well, but you could have put that into Shining Fates and just printed like 20% more of that set. The same effort that you put into this unique product that's never been done before for this Marnie milk dud container. And,
Exactly.
and it would have been way better off if you just reprinted more Shining Fates with that as a chase card in that set. So I don't know. Like, do they really benefit from it at all, being its own unique product? I don't know. I don't know. Because these prices that it's going for now, Pokemon doesn't see that. They got the same, whatever it was, $24, $28 for a piece that, they're supposed to be doing at $40 MSRP. So I don't understand why they would go through all the effort.
That's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, guys. Come on.
What?
Dude,
Come
that
on.
card exploded in price. That thing was $35 on release, and now it's $70. That's crazy.
I mean, you get. I love these Galarian birds. I think they did a good job with them.
Definitely.
Articuno, like this thing looks insane.
Look at those prices too. Like we're
Yeah.
full on like into the next set releasing. There's
I
50,
can't
60,
believe how well
$30, $20 cards in this set. That's crazy.
I can't believe how well Chilling Rain kept their prices.
Yeah, look at that Tornadus V. $35. That's super high for the worst alt-art there is.
All right, guys. So we're going to be wrapping this up pretty soon. I'd say probably in the next 26 minutes. So that'll be 8:20. Not. Wait, no. Let me make sure I'm right about that. For me, that'll be 10:20. So 9:20 and then 11:20. So we'll be wrapping it up soon. So if anyone has any more questions, throw them our way. Otherwise, we will probably just talk amongst each other. Because to be quite honest, we're just here kind of hanging out, and you guys are also here to ask questions. But it's just really fun for us to actually talk amongst each other.
Apparently there is an Evolving Skies Galarian Bird promos in the pre-release kits.
Yeah, there
that's
are.
Kind of hype.
It's those three, and then I believe Flaffy just thrown in there.
Flaffy's cute though. Flaffy deserves it.
Flappy.
Flaffy's almost there with a bird.
Flaffy's gonna be the one card you put, the one promo you pull. You're like, oh God, why?
Do we still have the Ampharos collector? Nar's a big Ampharos collector.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. No, I'm I always open booster boxes early when I get the previous kits in. So hopefully next week sometime I'll be opening Evolving Skies boxes. Well, that's gonna be hype.
Yeah,
We'll see what the pull rates are like on that. I might do a pre-release kit.
So when you open this product early, do you also sell the singles early, or do you just kind of do it for content?
No, yeah, we do it for content, and then we build out the set boxes with the singles that we pull on them.
Okay, that makes sense. I did want to ask, what do you guys think about the Battle Stadium box, the giant build and battle kit? That thing's ridiculous.
Haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't?
It's kind of like
Battle Stadium
like battle
box.
or the board games, like legacy board games.
Oh, with
where
the
you
big
like-
Pikachu on it.
Yeah. But like
Stadium.
these legacy board games, you can like rip cards up, or then you have to like wait a while to like use a certain card, or like you can alter the game board and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
All these are is pre-release kits, which is something that you kind of just open once and build a deck out of. They're very like one-time use, and then it's kind of like the same thing between the two, where you just kind of throw it together and then play like a little Pokemon battle with it. So it's a really weird product. We'll see how well it does.
4
think-
packs per box.
Yes, and then they give you like a little kit of stuff to make a deck with. So like really good supporter cards or like item cards and stuff to make the deck run better. Then it gives you like evolution lines too, so you can have like an evolution line.
It looks like a fantastic card holder box.
Yeah,
I like
definitely.
the Rayquaza on there.
The toolkits, the trainer toolkits are also pretty good for holding storage boxes.
That's about all they're good for.
Yeah, this trainer's toolkit in particular is not amazing, especially with people not playing the game.
Yes, exactly.
So it's kind of a bummer. Bad timing to put it out. Yeah. But yeah, the Battle Stadiums, it's a cool product. I don't know how well it's going to do. Maybe it'll get people to draft Pokemon. I don't know. That's not a thing, but...
Draft Pokemon.
Yeah, because, like Magic sets, the sets are laid out.
They're...
In a draft, you can,
Yeah.
pick a card out and pass it along, and then you can build a deck with that. Pokemon doesn't work that way with evolutions. It relies on previous cards to evolve, so you'd have to like make what they did in these kits and have like little evolution kits where he has like the Bulbasaur and the Ivysaur to get your Venusaur out kind of thing. So that's what is in those previous kits.
So I wanted to ask, what are all of y'all's plans for the foreseeable future, at least at the time? For like perfect example of what I'm doing, I'm currently selling some stuff off that I think has hit a peak for the time being that I'm okay buying back later on if I see more opportunity at the time and paying a higher price, so that I have money to sit on for when the opportunity comes in 6 to 12 months, which I think is when the opportunity will come. I could be completely wrong on that and absolutely regret what I'm doing, but hindsight's 20/20 always.
I already know. Well, Mason and Old School. Old School and Mason, they're gonna keep the wheels a turning. Cause
Let's hope so.
Definitely, yeah.
I hope so.
I've actually been finding since PSA's shut down, basically not really grading anything. I've been having some good luck finding ungraded collections, and I've been purchasing a few of them, like mint ungraded collections where people wanted to send the cards to PSA, but now that it's shut down, they just aren't. So I've been picking some of those up and just kind of setting those cards aside for whenever PSA reopens, and then sending a couple to CGC. So I've actually been buying a decent amount lately.
What about graded collections? You're not buying graded collections right now?
No.
Wait, did you ever say how much you got those for?
I think I priced them at the cost to grade them.
Good for you.
So $200 a piece.
Yeah, not quite. He did have some other decent stuff in here. But, yeah.
And I've also been trying to look into buying collections, but I'm trying to look at collections in the Sun and Moon block /EX era. Specifically, the closer you get to modern, man, these people do not know how to price their collections. They overvalue everything.
Yeah.
It's so hard to even negotiate with them because they are convinced that their 4,000 cards with like 2 rainbows and a couple full arts are worth $300.
Yeah, it's tough. My connection, both my storage unit connections are pretty much like I'm not buying from them right now because they've got these new people that are paying out the yin yang for trash. I said, look, when they get burnt out, just know I'm still here, because
Yeah.
these guys are paying something I'd normally pay him like $100 for. They're paying $400, $500. Like the bidding war is getting up. He's hitting me up at $400, and I'm like, can you send some photos? And it's all nothing, just nothing. and it's all modern, and people are paying crazy prices to him because he's like, dude, they're just taking anything I throw up. It's insane. It doesn't matter. They're gonna sell, and they're gonna sell well. And I told him, well, when they get burnt out, and they're burning up money with him. So when they're done burning money, hit me up, and I'll pay a good price, and I'll still be here to sell your collections to, because they go to storage units, and whenever they get, the good thing is these people aren't attacking other TCGs so as much, so I'm still kind of picking up some of them on the cheap.
But oh my God, Crazy Fragger, I hope you bought one of those $5 energies.
It's a good deal right there.
Oh my God. All right, so we got a few questions again. Best place to get Japanese cards. Plaza Japan is like one of the absolute go-tos. Do you guys have any ideas? You, Mason? I know.
No, I would love to have some connections with people that would ship stuff from Japan. That'd be awesome. So I'd love carrying like the unique playmats and sleeves and deck boxes that we don't get here in the States ever. So I would love to get all that kind of stuff, but it's just hard. I mean, there's kind of like in the same thing as like Swammey situation. It's there's so many people that want them. I can't buy them for any sort of deal or anything to turn around and resell them. So it's kind of like kind of prices me out to put them in my store. So. But yeah, I'd love to have a connection that I could buy like 20, 30, 40 of things at a time from and put them in my store. That'd be great. But yeah, I don't know. If somebody was willing to do that, let me know. I'd love to do it.
I usually just buy on eBay. That's my go-to for Japanese at least.
Yeah.
I bought these cheap. This one just fell off the wall. I bought like these cheap noise cancelers that you like put up on the wall, and
you're getting real official.
I'm trying. I brought like the cheapest version you can get on Amazon. They came flat. This is supposed to be like a nice. You can kind of see the shadow, but it's so flat. I mean, it's supposed to be like out here, but anyway. Sorry, I keep derailing with this conversation, but should you invest in MetaZoo? It's all about your price entry. All about your price. If you can get it for $10, $20, I'd say invest.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think it's all. I would say it's just all about your risk tolerance. Seriously. Full disclosure, I almost purchased the Rudy kit. I ended up not doing it because at the time I looked at it and said, what's my upside? Okay, it doubles, possibly triples, but MetaZoo is unproven. It has absolutely zero history to it to tell me that these boxes will not go to zero, because that's the truth. Even though this game has a cult following to it at the moment, if the party stops on MetaZoo, this isn't like Pokemon where what's the worst thing that'll happen to a box? We've seen it, Crimson Invasion, Steam Siege, $40, $50 a box. More realistically, $85, $70 a box. What about MetaZoo? I could easily see that being a $30, $20 box if no one cares about it anymore. And then after what MetaZoo did with shipping out the damaged boxes, hurting the image, and it really being so investor orientated, and from what I've heard, the gameplay itself is kind of wonky. It just made me so uneasy on it. That's not investing, that's gambling.
Well, counterpoints to all three of those. I'm not investing in MetaZoo, and I'm not going to invest. But just some counterpoints, because you said the gameplay's wonky. I've never met a player in real life of Pokemon. Two, the opening the rough opening where they had all those damaged boxes. I know Mason will never get over that, but I could care less, right? It's kind of like, and there's going to be people out there that are big MetaZoo fans that just won't care, just like me and CGC. I love the company. I send to CGC. I get 3 cases back that are really easy to open. Most of them are actually really easy to open, but I didn't care because I knew they'd fix it. I got some faith that MetaZoo is going to fix it because this is terrible. This looks terrible, but yeah, I don't know if it's going to die just because of those 2 things. I don't think that's going to kill it, dead on arrival or anything. And I know you're not saying that. I'm just throwing a little bit out there, like, they just started. I would not be surprised if I tried to start up a game that the boxes could be damaged because I didn't order right. Why didn't they put the boxes in boxes? What? What on earth were they thinking? Did this company never ship cards out? What in the world? I've never seen a pallet like that.
Yeah, that doesn't even logically make sense. To stack these boxes. And they weren't in those pallets, they weren't sealed either. They didn't have the shrink wrap on them yet. So were these from the factory and like they brought them to the States and then shrink wrapped them? Or it doesn't make sense to me what is happening in that picture. It blows my mind.
Like, did something get stacked on top of those? If there was no cardboard boxes, they all got shrink wrapped. Was there something stacked on top? I mean, that would be a nightmare. I used to unload trucks, and that would be a nightmare. And Charizard Chaser, you're right. MetaZoo is hyped up, and then it will fall off a cliff like everything else. It could. It totally could. It could take off too, but there are a lot of games that have failed. Mason, I'm sure Mason can just start naming them within the last 5 years.
Argon Saga, Dragon Ball Super used to be big, and now it's kind of meh. Let's see, what else is around here?
What's the one Solemn used to play? Vanguard.
Vanguard does well for us, but I know it's not very popular.
But didn't it kind of
reboot itself for the 3rd time? Yes, it has. So, yeah, there's that. There's tons of games that are out there, still out there trying to make it, and there's plenty that have folded. So yeah.
All right. So far, it looks like we're down to just 2 questions. Okay. So, unfortunately, again, Old School, I feel bad leaving you out. What do you think the Flesh and Blood Tales of Aria boxes will climb to before release?
First ed boxes, I'm assuming?
Yeah. Unlimited? Oh, please. No one pay more than, like, what, $90 for an unlimited? Maybe even less.
You never know. Do we have any knowledge of the set at all, or anything that's going to be in it?
Nope. I think Channel Fireball sold some boxes recently for $125.
Of course they did. So give you some insight on Legend Story Studios. I didn't know what was going to be in their Blitz decks. Like, that's their starter decks.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what characters were going to be in those until I got the product in my hands. It wasn't on their website. It wasn't on distribution channels. They were all just listed as Hero 1, Hero 2, Hero 3, Hero 4. So they're not great with disclosing information, which isn't good for people that want to invest in something, to know whether or not it's something that is going to be sought after or game-changing or, meta-breaking or anything. So maybe they'll do better on this one, but considering we don't know anything about the set still, I don't know what it's going to do price-wise. I have no way of knowing.
I have no idea about Flesh and Blood. Yeah, no clue. I do like. I love these Bandai.
Unmute me.
Cardos. I don't think you're muted.
Okay.
Oh, he was for a minute, but you're good now. Yeah.
This is really cool. Focus.
Fab Tales of Aria. I'm not really interested how high they climb right now, just because Monarch. Look at what did it climb up to? Like $600 a box at the peak, or $500 a box. It was absurd.
Yes.
And look how far it fell because they got the supply rectified. Tales of Aria, I believe they've released some info that they short printed the first edition because of whatever happened to Monarch, I think. But even then, I don't see it being that expensive, really, because Fab is finally cooling off. Crucible of War fell like 33%, from 1,200 all the way down to 800 and something right now if I go on eBay and buy the first one I see.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a rocky game. It's very scary as a game store to want to carry it because there's all this hype and people investing in these sets that when first editions come out, and then the Unlimited comes out and it's like, oh wait, this is a game and nobody's playing it. Okay, never mind. So now I have these boxes sitting on my shelves of Unlimited that I can't do anything with. So, as a store trying to sell this product, kind of sucks.
I like those cards. All right, so we got one thinker question and then one just what's your favorite question. What are your thoughts on having to pay up to a 37% tax rate for short-term capital gains from the cards you flip?
I think it's just part of doing business. Basically, there's nothing you can do about it. So I wouldn't. It sucks when you're first getting into it and you learn about 1099s and having to pay taxes on what you sell, but there's just nothing you can do about it. It's just something you got to accept, and definitely would recommend talking to an accountant, CPA, versus doing taxes yourself, because there's a lot of deductions that you can claim. That I when my first 1099, I tried doing it with TurboTax, and I really didn't understand what I was doing, and I paid a lot more than I should have. So the next year, I went to an accountant, and they told me about all these deductions that were perfectly fine to claim as expenses, and ended up paying a lot less in taxes. So definitely talk to someone, but it's more or less just something you're going to have to accept.
Yeah, welcome to how businesses work. It sucks. Don't do it.
I know a lot of people who are trying to get some stuff out before that comes into play, which if you pull it off, that's good for you. That's we didn't hear anything if you do that.
It's unfortunate. I mean, I really enjoyed the hobby. Never really had to worry about the cap was 20K.
Yeah, that's so high.
As a hobby, that was a great hobby. Now, is 600, I think, is super low. I think it takes the hobby side out of it, which really sucks. I don't know what kind of backlash there's going to be, but you start to hold a lot more. If you're gonna be making $1,000, why sell? If you are gonna have some taxes and headache, it's not fun. Like my grandpa, he used to flip cars in retirement. He would buy cars on Craigslist, and he would maybe put a new battery in them, clean them up, do some easy fun just on the side. He enjoyed it, and let's say he bought a car for $1,000 and he'd sell it for $2,500 or $3,000. There you go. Or if he made $1,000 to $2,000 on a car and he did that 3 to 4 times in a year, that was just for fun, right? And he'd take my grandma out to dinner, or tell her to go shopping or something. If he had to get with a CPA and make deductions, and heck no, he wouldn't be doing that.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? He'd just say, screw it. I won't do it anymore. So it kind of sucks, but at the same time, taxes are taxes. And there's a lot to be said that it was $20,000 for the longest time, and none of us were paying taxes on any of this stuff, right? But if you were making under 20K a year, but at the same time, I enjoyed enough to be able to, uh, you know, get myself in a position where I can make deductions, right? And keeping track of what you pay for things, and keeping track of what you sell things for, and yada yada yada. Measuring out your office so you can deduct the square footage from the mortgage. It's like, but that's it can get to a place where it's not so difficult. But I think it's fantastic for box prices, because if you don't want to go through the headache and you don't put your box up for sale because it's not easy, then it's not really available to the market. And if it's not available to the market, it's scarce. So I think, Wild Wild West, we're going back to Facebook. A lot of people, I'm not personally, but a lot of people are going to go back to Facebook, Craigslist, dealing in cash. Wild Wild West is sucker. I think a lot of people are going to do that. I'm not doing that, but
I'm going to guess a lot more people are going to trade. Like, I didn't talk about it too much. I traded 2 booster boxes and some cash. No, it was a booster box and a graded card to Old School for the Magikarp Gyarados poncho I've got up there. So I could absolutely see trading taking off more often because of that.
Yeah, trading's always fun.
yeah, it is.
It doesn't happen enough though.
You just need a reliable middleman, really.
Yeah,
But the thing is, all of the reliable middlemen are big people, and they don't want to waste their time on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's also why E4 is so protective, right? Because it is nice to have a little community where you can trust other people on it, right? So, I heard some people say, I'm a proponent for CGC, and when CGC was greenwashing CGC in E4, I heard some people say it was absolutely ridiculous for them to take it so seriously. But I didn't look at it that way. I can kind of understand why E4 would be so protective over their space. But yeah, just find yourself a good community.
All right, guys. So we've reached the time now. We are now going to be ending the live stream. Please, all 3 of you, just come through again, plug any of your socials. You can give another breakdown of your channel if you would like, and see if any more of the lovely viewers would like to swing by. So we'll start with Swammey and go down the line how we were earlier.
Hey, Swammey, thanks for subscribing. I saw that some people subscribed. It's good to have you. My channel gets pretty bad the further you go back, the audio and everything. But I've really been upping my camera quality and editing. I am going to try and start to live stream. I got a lot of boxes that I want to open, and I would like to actually open up a Discord, and then anybody that wants to come in and actually chat with me live while I'm opening packs or whatever, just kind of come hang out and chill. That'd be cool. Instead of having everybody in the comments, and if you don't want to be your voice on YouTube, that'd be totally fine. But you could just comment. But then it would be kind of cool to just like on a Tuesday night, like I feel like opening up some Spider-Man and open up a Discord and come on to YouTube. And anyway, yeah, I had a blast, guys. I had a great time. Always love talking Pokemon. And now here is old school Pokemon Nick.
Thanks for the intro there, Swami. No, it was a blast hanging out with you guys. Really do enjoy these podcasts, live streams, whatever. Just being able to talk Pokemon with people is awesome. It normally for me, my whole day is online, typing out emails and eBay messages. So just being able to talk to people is really nice, versus texting or whatever. But yeah, if you guys want to give me a follow, Old School Pokemon on YouTube. Do a lot of business type related videos on my channel. Definitely though, if you're looking to subscribe to someone, definitely recommend Swammey. He does a great job editing his videos, and he spends a lot more time doing quality videos than I do. But yeah, it was an awesome time tonight. Really had a great time, and look forward to doing this again in the future at some point. That's
way too humble of you. I love watching old school Pokemon stuff just because I think it's super interesting, super fun, and just to watch somebody run an eBay business, that's cool to me. Of course, I run my own business, Cardinal Gaming. If you guys have not heard, Cardinal Gaming.
I've seen all the negative reviews.
No, I wouldn't do that. Anyways, back to me. CardinalGaming.com is the website if you guys want to check out what we got going on there. And of course, I appreciate everybody subscribing to my channel, and appreciate everybody in the chat. Shout out to the chat, just keeping it interesting and talking to all of us, and keeping all of us entertained, really, while we entertained you. It's a fair trade. So, and thanks to Sam for putting us on and bringing us all together. And I appreciate talking to you guys too. It's always awesome, always fun.
I've tried to, yeah.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. So thank you guys for watching the video and the live stream. And before we end this, very soon I'm going to start doing a giveaway for the 1,000 subscribers. It's going to be at the very end of some video. I do not know which video as of yet. It'll be for entering into 2 Hidden Fates Elite Trainer Box breaks and either 1, possibly 2, Evolving Skies Booster Box breaks. So keep an eye out for that. And that shall be all for tonight. Thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.